Futures back in positive territory here as we get going on a Tuesday morning, trying to hold on to significant levels as we await more Fed speak coming up later in the day. Pretty light on the economic calendar this morning and throughout the rest of the morning as well. There are a few important releases to come later in the week. A ton of things moving around here in the pre-market once again, including, huge gap to the upside for Palantir. We'll touch on that. Spotify, not so much. Yeah, there's Palantir right now. Trying to get back to session highs currently. Spotify, not so much, as I mentioned. All of this to come later in the day. We'll get Loretta Mester coming through, Kashkari, Collins, and Harker after the close tonight. So Fed speak in the spotlight once again with earnings to touch on this morning. It's Tuesday, February 6, 2024. Tradertv.live starts now. There's another one downside this morning. Pretty negative start once again, coming off what happened yesterday for DocuSign. More layoffs coming through this morning for DocuSign. So all the way back to $50. This thing was 64, 65 just going back a week ago. So pretty ugly couple of weeks here for DOCU. Heavy volume on that name yesterday. The exact opposite look here for Palantir this morning, back to $20. Pretty impressive coming off earnings. As I mentioned, not a lot to talk about as far as economic data coming out this morning, but that's how things wrapped up yesterday for the overall market. It was once again the Russell taking the brunt of it, 1.3% for small caps yesterday, 0.7 for the Dow, S&P 0.3, and the NASDAQ 0.2. So I mean, interesting spot here as we try to hold on to some support levels with not a lot in the way of answers yet as far as what is to come for the overall market.
Yeah, it's going to be a great day, interesting day today. Watched Nvidia yesterday as it made its way past 700, almost touching 710 this morning, keeping an eye on that, watching as Palantir's revenue increased 20% year over year on the quarter. So lots to talk about today, Brendo.
Yeah, 700 for Nvidia again this morning on more positive talk from analysts, more AI talk from Palantir as well, signaling further demand to come later this year as well for them. So good luck right across the board. It's Tuesday morning, guys. Good morning.
It is Tuesday morning, last I checked, and the market once again started a little bit down and heads toward the green. Like, it's like, how many times is it overnight looking like it's going to be, look at that overnight, market's looking like it's going to be weak, and then all roads lead right back up to the top. We'll be watching some 17.8 on the NASDAQ, but wow, when you've got almost 20%, okay, 19% on Palantir, let's not jump the gun, $20 is where it's at. It's up 19% today. What a monster move. Eli Lilly, monster to the upside, which continues. We'll talk a little bit of Spotify. Nvidia has decided to break 700 like 3 times in the pre-market, so it hasn't happened in the open market yet. That's still very much in play on Nvidia. Unless you're DocuSign, or actually Plug Power, then you're having a fantastic day. And all of the Chinese ADRs getting a huge bump because China's going to do something to encourage buying in the equity market. Doesn't matter what it is. Right now, they're just looking to catch a bit of a bottom. But keep in mind, we got a bunch of Fed speakers today. So when you're in trades in the afternoon, you just know that sometimes they can move the markets. Like, if you're like, oh my goodness, why did my stop run when Mester's talking? You always want to keep your ear to the ground. We'll keep you abreast of everything that got said, but you got like a host of them today, and it's going to be a big one.
Yeah, there's 3 of them. I don't expect them to move the market, but pay attention to it for sure. As we sort of know what the Fed's going to do, I feel like probably, unless they come out like Neil said, man, ear to the ground. We have Adair there, we have everybody. But congratulations, Sharif and I were discussing the podcast earlier this morning, and we've been all over Palantir for days and days and days and months and months and months, and there it finally goes. Next stop, hopefully the S&P 500. Palantir continues to get going here, back up to the upside. So we're pretty happy today, again, as our most recent purchase as well. And we talked about this on Friday when we bought this down at 72 bucks. Alibaba, not great this morning. It's great, it's up too, but, you know, was greater but we'll see if it can hold, man. We had that long yesterday at $72 here as well, and we'll see if it can hold today. But yeah, here goes Palantir.
Look at level 2.
Yeah, I am going to take Palantir through $20. Look at the level 2 on Baba. Was it?
No, scroll to 20. There's like 200.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do.
You're
going
to chew through that level.
So that's only 100,000. Add up NASDAQ and ARCA, maybe that's 200,000, but a couple 100,000 shares there. Already 9 million. So I'm going to go long baby shares through 20, and then what we've been doing is playing back to VWAP. So if that does come in. But I just don't know about the pre-market. Anyways, there's so much volume happening right now that you don't even really need to treat this as the pre-market. You can get in and out here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play the break as if it was kind of real, and then wait to see for a pullback. Because what I wrote down here on the sticky note, and I'm working on getting it out right now, is we could break through 20 and then pull back. So I feel like there's going to be a lot. I mean, it's up 20%, right? The implied move was only 14%. So here you go again. It's a nice continuation move one more time for Palantir. And let's just see where it goes. Tonight I'm back at the Scotiabank Arena as my daughter is playing on the ice with some Maple Leafs tonight. So that should be real exciting for her. And we go there. I go straight from recap show, straight to the arena, and then hopefully home enough to get some sleep. And then guess what? Back here again tomorrow.
All day, every day.
And then again, and then again, and then the podcast, and then again, and then back here Monday. Actually, we must have,
No, that's not for...
February has
President's Day, Family Day is
That's
like...
the 18th.
I think it's later. It's not next, it's like the week after next. That break on 20, just remember, like I'm not complaining about these breakouts, but remember Nvidia 500, like that was like at the open in the open market. Nvidia 700 is not going to technically be at the open; it's already above it. This Palantir 20 is again not going to be at the open. It's so different when this happens at like 9:32 when it destroys that order, and you have the opening buy volume as well participating. But it doesn't matter; it's going to chew through this level like a hot knife through butter.
I'm so busy I don't even have time to listen to my own podcast. All right, over to the desk.
I was just hearing, there's a couple of analyst notes just coming through here. Let's talk about Tesla here. Back to the upside right now. There was a spike there coming up to 180 again. They tried to save this thing late in the day yesterday. It came back to 180 and held right at the close. But more downgrades this morning for Tesla. More negative talk going into the remainder of the year. There's some speculation around what Elon's actually going to have to do to move the corporation from Delaware to Texas as well. So that's not even close to being resolved.
No, and I don't even think that should be his first step. First step obviously should be appeal and see if you can actually win it in the jurisdiction without having to move the entire company. So we'll have to wait and see what comes from that issue. Kathy Wood coming out overnight as well and making comments about Tesla, basically saying the TAM, the total addressable market here, Brendo, is growing big as a result of this next-gen $25,000 car they're supposed to be having. So we'll have to wait and see how Tesla reacts in the coming days.
And there's so much more potentially to come, as we've all talked about. Kathy Woods talked about on the autonomous side of things and the self-driving side of things. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of short-term, it feels like, negativity around Tesla, guys. But we'll see if we can't hold on to this 180 again, as it did yesterday late in the day.
80.
Here goes Palantir. Here goes Palantir.
I'll be happy if we get 180. Are you kidding me?
Palantir just broke $20 right here. So we punch long. Unfortunately, we get 20.005.
You got fives? Okay, I didn't get it because I wasn't crossing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I thought it would possibly retrace a little bit.
I wanted threes.
Let's see if we can get here. I'm offering 14s right now on there it is. So all right, so far so good. So there we go. We just got 14s. I always try to take that 10 cents. We only got out of 20% of that. Let's just see. Here's the pullback in. So there you go, Neil. You can get fives.
I was at 3.
No, probably at this point, man, it's not going to matter.
Oh no, I just got 3s.
Yeah, it just broke 20 again, almost there. All right, so let's just wait to see what happens here. Palantir starting to breaker 19. All right, so I put Tesla on the sticky note today. I'm working on it as we speak. But the thing about Tesla is it's already broken. So this name is a short 100%. I don't really see a long in here until we get another catalyst. You've already broken down into 176. It already showed its hand last night, or I guess it's this morning here at 7 o'clock. But again, nice move down. That 175 could be a bottom. I don't think so, though. Like, I feel like if you're going to buy the name, this is, I just heard Sharif mentioning it, I think, like down into here, I feel like is a good buy. Like, I mean, if you're going to start to buy some shares, 170, yeah, exactly. We've talked about this. Oh, man, this makes me think, I laugh because of Sharif was having some FOMO about Liado, and we'll get to that. I mean,
Oak 30, baby.
Great call by Sharif about, I think you got the best Chinese EV name there.
Oh, I don't think that's close based on the chart.
But unfortunately.
You seen Xpeng's chart?
Yeah, have you seen NIO?
Oh,
well,
my, okay, true.
But anyway, so Tesla, yeah, so anyways, good call. But maybe BYD is probably the best one.
Well, yeah, probably.
You know, but BYD's chart is not great either unless it's recovered. All right, let's just go over to Tesla. Look, corporate governance issues. Now apparently Elon is going to have to sue his own company to get some of this money. I don't know if that's good or not. He's already threatened with the AI build. Again, like if he doesn't get 25% of the company, then he's going to back away from, you know, really going hard on AI. That's not anything shareholders want to hear. Price cuts, margin decreasing, EV names not popular or not in the spotlight right now. I guess we just wait for Model 2 or whatever that smaller model is, and then we get ramped up on some sort of catalyst. But right now, I trade off catalysts, so obviously today would have to be a short with the market being up and Tesla down 1.75%. I feel that it is a short, and I said let's get this party started at 180, but we'll see if that happens here. We're starting 178 right now, so you know when we write the sticky note down, we're here. Now we're here, so we started from the top. Now we're here, and yeah, I don't know, Neil. Are you looking to go long down there at 175?
So 175 was the level that turned yesterday. So that's like if I'm long, it's that level, or when I look at the chart, like 166 on the daily is what you go all the way back to like this close. Like it was sort of like a mini breakout, and then the acceleration at 166, and it also happens to be the trend line that's been holding for the back half of the year. So I think you can get there. That's where I feel like all signs are pointing to, but if Cathie Wood was buying, I think it's obvious that there was some support of the 175 level. That's about it today. If it breaks this, you got even dollar 170 and then that 166 level. I know for sure I'd be looking for long somewhere around that 66, but I'd take a shot at 175 first time through. When I sat down, I didn't really think we'd have a chance at the afternoon resistance levels because I was thinking shorts over 180 because it closed at 181 and this resistance was 182. So I feel like that entire $2 range is kind of a go zone, which makes it a little bit tricky. However, there's always Rivian. And I'm missing a bit of data. It shouldn't matter too much. Rivian got punked yesterday, but you can see it made a bit of a wick top there at 15.20, so it's still battling the 15 level. If Rivian lets go of the 15 level, like who cares? We can just short that. 14.5 is this wick bottom. So either shorting it at like the 15 quarter on a pop and fade. If it breaks that, wait for 16. But if things get out of hand in the EV space, let's not forget this support, which has been there for a while on Rivian. It could get taken out at 14.5. Like you can't put Tesla in a penalty box and be like everything is fine with Rivian or any of the other smaller EV names. Although on that note, on my way to a hike with the family over the weekend, I'm driving. I didn't even I wasn't even noticing this. A guy pulls in front of me, and my wife's like, "VinFast." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh yeah. They're just." And then I was like rattling off as if I knew anything about it. But yeah, there are other EVs on the road. That said, they're all getting hurt. Like unless you're a Chinese EV company today, you're probably staring down and looking at a decent loss overnight. Unless you are Li Auto, NIO, and Xpeng, which is up because of China. Everybody else, Rivian's flat, but you know I think you're looking at penalty box until it says otherwise.
Like yeah, I mean, we were just saying the same. 3.5 million right now in volume on NIO. Very active, 5% already to the upside. Here's another one struggling this morning. Mentioned it right at 8:30 there. $50 trying to hold here, but yeah, DocuSign cutting their workforce by 6%. and announced some other cost-cutting measures throughout. I mean, if you go back, what was it, a week ago? Yeah, it was 64, 65 bucks for this thing. We're all the way back to 50. This thing does not typically move with what you would think. I mean,
No.
we were just talking about the fact that typically cost cutting and job cuts and things like that, you see a nice pop to the upside, but not today.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, obviously something peculiar about this name, having the market second guess, perhaps buying in the face of employee cuts here. It's going to be about 6% of their workforce, which is about 440 employees. They employ about 7,300 people. They're blaming the cuts on financial and operational efficiency. It's mostly going to be workers from within the marketing and sales team, Brendo. So we'll have to see how it does. It's had a tough 2024.
Yeah, even just zooming out the past 3 days or so, 4 days on a higher time frame, the March lower continuing, guys, for Docu.
No, I tend to think there. Oh, he's drinking the coffee out of a straw. Okay. Okay. No, it's look, man. What? It stayed on the shot, and then I saw what you guys saw there. I went to start in. I saw the coffee out of the straw. It's fine. It just caught me off guard a little bit. That's all. The DocuSign's at the 200 period moving average. You can say, okay, the deal, blah blah blah, the deal stalled and all that stuff, but at some point, why wouldn't it just trade on A, on its own value, B, on the opportunity, on the idea that, hey, if somebody liked it as a purchase and thought it was value before, like, why wouldn't they still at some other valuation? Now, let's be real. This was down in the mid 40s, I want to say, when it really broke out on that spec, and you're going to tell me we're bouncing off 50? If this thing even gets to the mid 40s, it's gone down 10%. Which puts it in the SSR bounce zone. And this is the prime situation for a stock to go down 10% and bounce if it got SSR. Actually held SSR, because I'm pretty sure it did it yesterday. Although it doesn't say continuation for me. I'll have to double check on my scanner for that. But I'd be looking for a bounce somewhere in DocuSign. And that generally, for me, on a bigger, better well-known name, starts at that 200 period. So if it can hold 50 at the open, great. The better level that I really like is when all this volume kicked off, and you can see it right here. It was like December the 8th. You had just spent time at 46, 47. That's the go zone for me. It gets down to that price, looking longs. I'd even consider whether or not it's worth a spec play in the long term at that price. Like, I mean, you're going to come all the way back down to like the pre-deal speculation prices. On a company like this, I don't see why it's not worth a bit of a shot there. But first look would be maybe 50 at the open. The problem with that is, I mean, Palantir and Nvidia, Intel are all going to be in play at the open, so might have to wait this one out. I kind of half hope it goes down to 46, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so again, this is another name, DocuSign, that we had talked about again on the podcast. And I actually really like this for the buyout. But you got that news that hit, what was it, Friday or something, about the value, and it went down, I think it must have been into this 56, 58 area. I remember, well, we can go back and look on the chart and see when exactly that news hit. I think it must have been right here, I would guess. Was it on, what day is that, the 5th? Was it just on Friday? Maybe it was just on Friday, actually, yeah. So someone got wind, obviously, that this deal was not happening. So we had talked about, I thought DocuSign was going to get bought out. I really liked the business. So we thought that we could buy it against some of these bottoms, 60, even 55 down here when you're looking at a daily chart. But I actually talked about this again there on the podcast, that what happens when a stock, and me and Brendan laughed about it, like when iRobot wasn't bought out. No one cares about iRobot really for Amazon. And we saw that thing fall lower than where it was before the deal news. I don't think that happens to DocuSign. So Neil was mentioning, what, 45? What did you say? 40s?
46 is the for sure zone.
Yeah, so that's exactly right. So I feel like the same thing. If DocuSign, again, remember we had a monster, so you have to always consider the monster move up in the market anyways. So DocuSign was going here anyways. So I feel like where they started to get probably buyout rumors was probably in here, 44, 45. And then when the public knows about it, probably a few days later. So yeah, I would say I actually want to buy this name. So let's see if we do get a whoosh down. And remember when job cuts used to be a good thing? Well, now it's down 6%. And again, I just feel like that's FOMO of people exiting their positions, hoping to have gotten bought out. That's not happening. So I would say if you're in it for that trade, probably sell now. But I do feel like you could get another 10% down. But you know what? I mean, if you like the stock and you're going to buy more 10% from here, unless you're in it a lot of money, I'm not sure the right decision would be to sell now. I mean, I feel like now you analyze it away from the buyout. And when are earnings on DocuSign? Let's just see this. So I just put Roblox on the sticky note today because their earnings are Wednesday, and they're not until March 7th. So yeah, maybe let this thing settle down a bit. It's DocuSign, and too bad for shareholders that deal didn't go through. But at least when you heard about it here live on the show, the stock was around 56, maybe 54 bucks. So there, today's move really sucks, down 5%. So unfortunately, now there's news outside of the buyout, so it starts to go down. It's interesting that Bitcoin's holding 42.8 right now as well. I feel like I don't know if there's going to be a dip buy in BTC at all. Like it's not going. I thought when we broke 43 that we'd get into that 37, 38 again. It looks like that whooshed down on the earning on the ETF announcement. Might be all you're getting from that. We just took another piece out right here just to give you guys an idea of Palantir. So so far so good here on PLTR, up 20 points. 20 points. I always say that 20%. And there it is, man. Nice little 20. Yeah, we'll take 1% there. 20 cents on 20 bucks. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, the iRobot podcast.
Yeah. Before we go back,
We should have an iRobot podcast.
I want to get to it. I answered this question in the chat for Kenny because Kenny said, first time watching, do they do live trading or just prep for the day? We do everything. We are prepping for the day, but if there's pre-market trades, we're going to trade. We trade live throughout the day. That's all the way until 4 o'clock, and then there's the aftermarket recap show, which goes over trades and goes over earnings, and pretty much everything in between. So you're in the right spot there, Kenny. Just want to let you know. And if it's your first time, enjoy it. Have some fun. It's a great community. Ask questions. That's what we're here for. Palantir is in play. There was a seller at 20s, and when I say there was a seller, it was just, you can look at the level too. Like every level is a few thousand shares. Once a couple people put like 10,000, it tends to stall out there for a couple of minutes and then go higher. So I think Palantir, if it fails 20, I think the dip could easily get to like 19 quarter. I wouldn't be surprised if it failed 20 at the open. So I'm not holding a 20 breakout long to 19 even. But I would look for longs again at some point in a dip if it fails 20 here at the open. But it's going to be the relative volume leader. I mean, I suppose there could be something I'm not paying attention to, but I tend to think Palantir is going to be the relative volume leader today for most day traders.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't think there's anything else that's going to beat it, but you never.
Well, what is NEO doing? Hold on a second. There could be only because of China, right? No, 3 million for NEO, 12 million. Oh my God, I saw 467 here, so that's a New York book, and I was like, what?
No.
It's below 5?
Remember when you used to be able to have quotes like that?
Why is NEO not up anything? I thought we had good China stimulus.
We did.
Okay. All right, back over to the desk. What's up, bro, Ponzi Fonzie?
You can fly to England in an hour. That would be great. Just be aware, there's this little teeny tiny one, therapeutics company, 10x, TNX, quick double, in 15 minutes or so, 9 to 18. This is about 300,000 shares. So tread carefully, to say the least. It's 291,000 free float on this. There is a positive patent headline as well, but it's more about the float. Let's get some upgrades and downgrades. Adara has some analyst moves for you over at the screen.
One of the many Chinese ADRs on watch today, Li Auto getting an upgrade, but a price target decrease from Deutsche Bank. Palantir, after its stellar earnings report, getting an upgrade here from Jefferies. Again, we know this one trading much higher after those earnings here as well. Caterpillar, another recent earnings name, getting an upgrade here from TD Cowen, and Costco getting an upgrade from Telsey Advisory Group. For downgrade, some other recent earnings names on the horizon here, starting with McDonald's, BTIG Research giving this one a downgrade. Plug Power also getting a downgrade from Seaport Research here. Tesla, after price target decrease from Piper Sandler yesterday, today getting a downgrade from Daiwa Securities with a $195 price target. And last but not least, Chevron reported last Friday, now getting a downgrade from DZ Bank, guys.
Well, I mean, we actually, I think Sharif and I actually, was it today we were talking about, or I don't know who it was, we were talking about Costco. And it's just like, this name just, I don't know, I think it was this morning. And I was just like, I don't even remember the last time I bought this name or sold this name. And it just keeps on working. And then I said like, it sucks because the only names I ever get in and out of are the names that just keep going up. But this, thankfully, is one that we actually, he's got a new haircut. His name is Randy.
Ooh,
and he's sharp as, you don't have to show that part. And he's sharp as usual. All right, how was that intro? Not bad, not the greatest.
That was good.
No, now you want the animation. You see what this guy's all about now?
Hit it.
Hit it. There it is, hey.
There we go.
He's got the V-neck. He likes the V-neck.
Clearly.
All right, cheers.
Here we go.
You see, you make the guy an animation, and the next thing you know, he's all about the animations. We actually had a, it's too bad you can't find, there's an animation of him driving like a Lambo. And
I remember
like
that.
A donut on
They are all somewhere. I don't know where. But.
Past is in the past. Very, very good.
But that's pretty cool.
And in the past, Ramin wasn't here, but she's here today. So that's fantastic. What's up, Ramin? Glad to have her back in the building again, as per usual. Ramin, your family have a Costco card? Yeah? All right.
I'm pretty sure the only one that doesn't have a Costco membership in this entire.
Is you.
It's just,
and Brendan.
It's just me.
Oh, no, Brendan has.
Brendan
Brendan has.
We've already.
Fabian, you have?
See, it's only me.
Sharif's parents have. And Adara, we're not sure.
Well, we don't.
She does not.
Okay, well.
But does your family have? No. Winnipeg. All right.
We used to have Sam when my pops was in Florida. My brother was there. We had Sam's, which is essentially the same.
Yeah. Sam's
But as soon
is
as we came back to
Sam's Club.
Canada,
I think
no.
there's a Sam's Club in Brampton. There was, and then they closed it down. Right at Steele's and Kennedy.
I mean, everyone goes to the Costco anyways. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
think
yeah,
Sam's
yeah.
is there anymore, to be honest. Not that I'm ever out. But
All right. So, anyways, yeah,
it's Costco you're talking about.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, just stay long on. I mean, Costco with an upgrade, gonna continue to work. It's not a day trading name. I just wanted to, again, March 7th. You know, the spread is too big. We don't really trade it. But I remember the last time we had Costco earnings, I think it was right here and it was breaking 660. And we're just like, oh, take 660 in the pre-market. I think you guys might remember that. And it went like $10 and we didn't have it. And then everyone was like, oh, you guys love Costco. And it's just like, since then, it's just, this is what it is. So honestly, I was too distracted singing songs about Randy and all that stuff. So I didn't even catch any other names on that board.
Liotto.
Well, yeah, I knew you have Liotto up, so I wasn't going to talk about that one. But why don't we talk about Liotto then? Sometimes we save it for Sharif, but
No, I think this is one that it actually makes sense to at least look at this stock today because, well, first of all, I probably look at Pinduoduo and Baba and Neo as trades before this one. But when you think about like trying to fill in gaps, because Chinese ADR is gapping to the upside and then falling back in, you look at this clean. I don't know why you're hitting the fail. Like, look at these top.
oh, now
here.
he hates it. Now he hates it.
29.7, 29.7, 29.6, 29.6. So somewhere in the 29.5 range, if this breaks 30, just look for any of these, like this area in here, to try to hold. How many times have we seen Chinese ADRs gap up on whatever the news is, government might or might not do something, you pull back in there, the upgrade, who cares, it doesn't really matter. But you just look for that previous resistance to turn into a little bit of support. And Magic 8 Ball in the chat was like, where's Mr. Leahy? Which I'm assuming is a reference to the fact that
Randy.
Randy, obviously.
Yeah.
But Trailer Park, for anybody that has never seen Trailer Park Boys, I know a lot of you guys are American watching this one. It's an absolute treat. And I tend to think, and I understand the serious nature of some of Mr. Leahy's preclusions, but he's one of the best acted characters in comedy history in television. Like, I don't think anybody could do the performance of Mr. Leahy that guy does. I'll sometimes just watch like Mr. Leahy clips on YouTube every now and then. That's how good that dude is. If you've never watched Trailer Park Boys,
so good.
Oh my goodness, he's
Yeah,
so
just
good.
don't watch it with kids.
Oh no, it's not.
You know,
for
it's
kids.
not the right conversation pieces.
Probably not.
They're bubbles. Yeah, bubbles. I mean,
Bubs.
everybody there, you know, have tons of cats. All right, it's 8:59. I guess we don't have a guest, so we're just kind of
Apparently not.
delaying right here.
Yeah.
What was that? Oh, ad read. Okay. All right, over to the desk.
Brought to you by Hedgeye. Try Hedgeye's Core Macro free for 30 days. That includes Hedgeye's daily market playbook, risk range signals, and the macro show hosted by former hedge fund manager Keith McCullough. Hedgeye.com/TTV. Shout out to our friends over at Hedgeye. Let's have a look at the overall market here. Sharif's going to kick it off with a look at the futures.
49.62, Brendo. That's where the closing print was yesterday. We did dip below that key resistance or support level that we talked about ever so briefly yesterday on the S&P. We dipped below 49.50, but we were quick to reclaim it. So let's go ahead and say, again, 49.50 support today, 5,000 resistance.
One of those days where there's a lot to understand in the pre-market as typical for earnings season. If you haven't done so, grab that. We send you everything you need to know, thank you, Randy, in the pre-market before you even wake up in some cases. It just arrives in your inbox. Here's Palantir, top of the list this morning, as you saw, 20.5%, also $20 coming into play here, coming off an impressive, to say the least, earnings report for PLTR.
Yeah, meeting on the bottom line and beating decidedly on the top line, Brendo. It is good news here for Palantir as they continue to acquire more government contracts. What we really have been looking for with Palantir is the expansion into the commercial space. We saw last year they had about a 30-70 split between commercial contracts and government contracts. Let's see what this year brings, but it's a hell of a start.
Where do we go from here, guys? We're already coming into pretty significant levels on a daily chart for this one.
Ones I have. So, all right, Neil and I just you have to put filters in the charts, so we're gonna get, because my charts filter out more D-prints than his charts. Go to Neil's chart, for example.
No, like, look,
Just
here's an
quickly. See
example.
that huge move
See
down
that
there?
thing? See that?
You didn't get long down there, dog? But anyways,
did it
you
right
see,
now.
if you come over to my chart, you can see I don't have those. So we're discussing that. So I'm going to get him the list of filters that you can filter out. And that's just a feature of the PPROA platform. And by the way, we just did have a brand new rebrand, baby. Is it siren worthy? But I don't know. Day Trade the World turns into Real Trading. So you can still day trade the world. I mean, there's still over 50 markets worldwide. We trade over 400 million shares a day. We do over 3 billion valuation, non-notional in trades. We have over 3,000 traders, and you can join today, but not if you're in the USA. But anyways, join today. It's a great platform. You can use our software. Here's Neil right here. You can see he's very, very excited, trading what looks to be maybe my layout, or is that your layout? I don't know what that is. But good trading.
It's like kind of
Oh,
my
there's the
layout.
black charts. We always talk about, oh, it is your layout. What am
It
I
is
talking
my
about?
layout.
So there's the black charts. You can fully customize everything. Here's some sort of handsome individuals led by Sharif here. And Neil, man, why are you so
gun show.
serious, bro?
I thought.
Is that right? Is that after the Buffalo Bills game?
Okay,
or
now
what?
hold on a second. When we posed
Is that
for
AFC
when we posed
semifinals?
for some of those pictures, it was like do a serious, do a whatever.
Oh, you thought you were a gangster?
No. But there is a picture of me smiling. It's just for some reason it's like choose.
Is there though?
Yes, that we did pictures of all of them.
No.
And then it's like choose the picture of me
Oh yeah,
doing
you're
the
smiling.
stank
You're
face,
smiling in the bottom there.
and then
Oh, here-
everybody else being serious. It's like,
Yeah.
come on, how are you gonna do me like that?
Yeah.
Look at the. Okay, whatever.
It's like you and Sharif are like bodyguards for me and Brendan here or something. It looks like.
I'm not anybody. Sharif is the bodyguard. I'm not.
But
anybody's
anyways,
bodyguard.
go over to Real Trading immediately and find out all about that. If you are outside, unfortunately, of the United States, you are eligible other than Russia and Ukraine. But okay, anyways, great platform. You can sign up at home. You get a little box. It's fantastic. It's called theCUBE. Go nuts. All right, so Palantir again. You know, they're just a report away from being added to the S&P 500. So find the worst company the minute they start to figure this out. I believe Palantir will get added there. It's 5 straight quarters of EBITDA profitability. They just hit that. They're profitable for the whole year, and that should be enough to get them into the S&P 500 unless I've missed something. So that sort of rallied Uber. And then Palantir just continues, man. The big note about what their earnings report was, and we have the numbers in the watch list, they finally starting to monetize some of their commercial side. So Fabian last night mentioned to me on the market recap show, aren't they a government corporation, or they're just always dealing with government contracts? I was like, correct. But what's rallying this is now them being put into, like, you know what, who uses them? Ferrari Race. And Race just blew the numbers out, and a lot of it was due to efficiencies that they're able to find in the manufacturing, and now they're putting it into their racing side of it with Formula One and everything like that. So Palantir has use case scenarios now outside of government, and these contracts are continuously being extended. So yeah, man, we really like Palantir. All of us have been talking about it down here at 15, 16. Sometimes you get these levels, and we just had it. So we were buying. We didn't get our ultimate buy down here. It didn't break through 15. Again, this is the problem when you wait for earnings. I feel like it's the smart thing to do, but then if you don't have a full position, you wake up and you kind of have FOMO that it's up 20%. But just feel good about the trade for now. Palantir could still fall back in, like Neil said. If we break 20, there could be severe profit taking in this name. There isn't a huge short float. There never really was in this name. Only 6, yeah, like just a little bit less than 6% right now. So the shorts, whoever was in it, they've most likely going to have to get liquidated here today. So I could see a little bit of a bump up, maybe $20.50, and then we'll reassess. Ultimately, I mean, we were just here in November. So don't have too much FOMO. Like, it was just 2 months ago, we were already higher than where we were right now. The real miss is the buy off the 200 period. So we keep saying this, buy good companies when they dip down. I gave an example of Adobe. Palantir was another one of those. Unfortunately, I talk like this because we could have all got more money in.
Well, there's no question.
But at the end of the day, you sit there and you're happy for what you have.
I have way too little of Palantir. And the part of the problem is, like I said, like there was a really great level underneath 15, and that last little dip in front of the 200, that was your chance to really load in before earnings. But just to keep in mind a couple of things, when you get added to the S&P 500, which they'll be eligible every single quarter that they continue to have profits. Like, it's your last 4 just have to be profitable. So as long as like they've got the streak going, as long as they continue it, it can happen at any time. But it could be at a quarter end. It could be like one company buys somebody else. It's in the S&P 500. Something has to come out. Like, there's all kinds of ways that it can happen on a timing basis. You just don't know exactly when that is going to occur. I think the dips, and if we fail 20, fine, fair enough. It breaks underneath 20, I'm getting out and looking for a dip somewhere in the 19 quarter range. I'm just gonna zoom out. So that's not gonna help because you can't see it. I go back to this like wick top at like 19 quarters, and then if you look into the aftermarket yesterday, you did have a bit of a top pullback at a 19 1/4, pre-market lows right around that price. So like somewhere in there is the first place I'd look for a dip long. And if you don't think Palantir failing 20 can get to 19 1/4, you haven't watched Palantir when it gaps up. It absolutely can. So the 52-week high is 21.85. If it never breaks 20, then it should see that.
All right, let's go to Spotify. Nice look right across the board. We were just talking about some of the astronomical contracts that Spotify continues to hand out. And if you look at the free version or ad-supported version, you'll start to understand why. Huge number to the upside on the year-over-year basis for monthly active users for Spotify as well. I mean, they just renewed Rogan at 250 million. And he's going to be able to put his content back on other platforms. He's no longer exclusive to Spotify, so they're doing something right.
Clearly, Brendo, they are doing something right. And as you mentioned, their free, their ad-supported tier grew 12% year over year, but so did their premium subs as well, 15% year over year growth. So they're growing from everywhere. Their ARPU grew 1%. Their MAUs, total monthly active users, 23% year over year growth here, Brendo. And last but not least, obviously, revenue grew 16% year over year, and they turned a profit, beating on the top and bottom line.
They can happily take my money month over month, guys. Spotify looking pretty good here today.
Look, and the thing is, we talked about how much volume Palantir is going to do and how it's like every day trader is going to be in some way, shape, or form looking to trade this. I don't know if that's going to also be true of Spotify. I'm skeptical that it would be because it's less than 500,000 shares in volume. You never know. Maybe something crazy happens. Most of the numbers weren't that great, but you have to consider it's about the user growth, and sometimes you grow into valuations. This is doubled. Okay, almost doubled. We should be more precise about this. If you go back to like this bottom in August, it's not quite a double, but it's pretty darn close to it. So it does feel, when it's not a perfect report, that wouldn't be a chase for me. You know, if you don't exactly beat top and bottom, and it's really just the user growth that drives you there, it's hard to want to look for chases. It's exactly the kind of stock that if it falls at the open, maybe something along. I just see 230 sitting there as a round number. Maybe it gets down to a price like that, and then after the opening rush, you can try to take it. I think most people, if you're a day trader, more interested in looking to Snapchat, which reports. We get them after the bell tonight, I want to say. I know if it's before tomorrow's trade. It could be tomorrow morning. It's either after the bell or tomorrow morning. And they have a chance for a breakout. On sympathy, maybe this will be a more interesting one in terms of a trade. So you count me out of Spotify, but we've been looking for Snapchat to break out this top for a while. And of course, the bottom of the range and the 50 period can also come into play. But this will be an earnings play that I promise you we'd be more interested in looking at because it'll do a lot of volume, whereas Spotify, not so much.
I mean, it's just crazy. They still lost money, right? Yeah, so GAAP EPS of minus 38 cents. So it's like, what a great business to be in. You could pay your content like all this money and still just continue to lose money for a company. And this is a money losing company, Spotify. They do not make money. Yet everyone's piling into this name. Minus 38 cents. Minus revenue. Well, I mean, they had a good revenue, I guess is what people are paying for here. But yeah, they're going to have to turn themselves around. And honestly, Spotify, like Brendan said, they have a great user base. 600 million daily active users is nice. I don't use it because I already pay for everything with Apple. But again, I used to be Spotify. You know, on the weekend, my wife streamed the podcast on Spotify, on Apple Podcast, on YouTube, on every single streaming service. And so we added some. We don't have Spotify, so we added some to their ad revenue. But there it goes, man. Breaking higher. Like Neil said, I don't really like the name, but pullbacks into VWAP tends to have been working. That's 239. So with good volume and pretty steady, it looks like the market's open. Forget about all these dark pools. So I would say, yeah, 238, 239, possibly for a buy there for Spotify. I'd almost flip it the other way and try to go short. But the thing is, on such a good report that people like that I can't seem to understand, that up 8% seems to be a little bit, extended. Let's put it that way. So if you like the bid, 238, 239 seems to be holding. For me, I think I'd rather play the short, but clearly I don't know enough about this business. So up 8% on that kind of an EPS is not my cup of tea, especially with high rates. But hey, congratulations, Spotify. And congratulations, more importantly, man, to this trade that we're both in. Palantir just continues to go higher. We wrote down right on the sticky note that we liked a 20 break. So there it is, man. I mean, and I said that we would treat it like the market was open. And it was great. It broke it. It came back in, filled up Neil back down there, filled anybody that was waiting that maybe missed the break. So that's perfect. And then it was bought back up at 20 bucks. Palantir could have a 30 handle in it today as far as percentage is concerned. I mean, I would not be surprised if we do try to get into this 2150 area. That's going to have to be a sell, but Palantir right now getting pretty spicy moving forward here.
Wait for it. There we go. Tesla back to the upside right now, but overall it has been pretty weak over the past couple of weeks. Here's Kathy Wood coming out pointing to tenfold just on this $25,000 next-gen EV that's around the corner, allegedly. We'll see if they actually can get it off the ground and start making them, but we talked about that 180 earlier.
You know what I would want to know? Because remember, he mentioned this $25,000 car before the inflation hit. So I wonder if the new price target is a little different
like
than 25,000. Yeah, a little bit different. No, today Tesla catching a downgrade, guys, from Daiwa Capital. Jairam Nathan downgrading this from outperforming to neutral and lowering the price target, Brendo, to 195 bucks. So I'll have to see how Tesla does today. It's been a rough couple of weeks, though.
Yeah, it's interesting. In the actual title of this article, it's 25,000. But if you read a little bit further, they refer to at the sub $30,000 car, so might be a little more accurate.
Yeah, we mentioned this, like, look, Tesla got woodshedded at the open yesterday, and it was just all sell. I mean, pretty clean $10. Let's just say, like from 185 down to 175, and a double bottom 175. I only took, look, I took the bounce into here. As most of you know, if I'm going counter trend, I'm gonna have a target. Didn't feel like it was going to rally as strongly as it did, but hey, Kathy Wood bought a bunch of shares. I don't remember the number. You can find it in our watch list. But every single time you get like a key bounce level, and on a day like this, you tend to find out a day later who was buying it, and we now know. So 175 is the level I'll look for long, and that's it. If it breaks that level, then I'm just waiting for the bottom of this trend to come in on Tesla. It sits at about, like, the further it gets away from the recent low, as you can imagine, like this, it gets lower and lower. So the bottom of the trend is like that 161 if it were to hit it today. But 166 is the big level on the daily. Going back to the last time we were there, you had a good consolidation low close before it ran up from 166. So I could see that. If 170 breaches being the other place I'd look for a long. If we're shorting pops in this, yesterday you had support turn into resistance at about 182.5. So I would lean over there. I didn't mention this before, but that's my bad. When we talked about the EVs, I'm on the offer for Lucid in front of 330 again. So looking to short that one on a pop. It did bounce nicely, double bottom off 310, but if I can get short in front of 330 and risk 3 or 4 cents, then that play from yesterday is still very much valid.
All right, so Dimitri sent me a bunch of numbers. Now I'm asking him for letters. So hopefully those will come through for you as far as these filters are concerned. Okay, look, I haven't showed it yet today, but there is something out there that you may hear me talk about every once in a while. It's going to be the sticky note. And Tesla's one of the #1 names. I mean, it is the #1. Palantir's the #1 name, but here we go, same hat. But there it is right here. Let's just go over to it's Tesla 182 short. I've changed that basically to 180, but let's just have a quick look at it right now. And we wrote down why we thought this was going to be a problem. Look, with all this corporate governance crap that just keeps on happening here, there's been a downgrade for Tesla today. You can go read it in our watch list. I just feel like right now there's no catalyst to run this thing. But like, what was the catalyst off of this 175? I'm guessing just technical levels. So maybe we can get down there and bump that again. So that would be something to look for, is that 175. But you see what happens when people don't love a stock? This is what happens. And yesterday we were short Tesla, okay? Because again, we had some negative news. I should just check out what it was here. Yeah, so this is yesterday's sticky note for Tesla. We wrote down Piper downgrade here, sends the name lower in the pre. We'll stay short underneath 190 as long as this name continues to disappoint. So that was yesterday's sticky note, and this is what happened in the morning. So we talked about getting short the name, it dropped $11. So right here today, we bounced off of that level. So do I see like a break of 175? Maybe, but I think it's worth going long first. So down there, 175. We'll wait to see if it happens, but it's probably worth it. I want to play bumps. So yesterday's close, which is why I kind of wrote down 182, because when we were talking about it, it was 179. I thought if we went for a run, that would be an area that we'd be worried about, and then you'd punch out upside around 183, which was yesterday's high. So 182 is the ultimate short. But you might want to start it in and around 181, yesterday's close. 180 is a pretty key level as well. Anyways, Tesla's a short today. The market just continues to pump here. Like the market, by the way, guys, this is why it's hard for me to talk about shorts. Because like you're right at these highs. 177, like 17,800, like right here. We could easily take that right off the open, and then there's no more space. The S&P is 1% away from all-time highs. The NASDAQ is something similar, I guess probably less than that. So, I mean, we're getting ready to go here, and honestly, Tesla could go with it. I'd like to see the catalyst. I think it's going to be the Model 2. So for now, we short until we break that 183. I'm going to be short Tesla. It's just a matter of let's get our patient cap going here with this name today and try to find some better opportunities early. But again, Tesla, a good one. DocuSign, by the way, broke 50 and is now at, what time is it? How much more do we have? Okay, just quickly on DocuSign here. Just broke 50. So that's going to be really interesting. I feel like a move back to VWAP is probably a short, $51 here. As DocuSign gets a little bit negative news today, they're cutting jobs, cutting people away from their ad business or their sales team, which is not great. And also the dropout there of Bain Capital or something, that was interested in the buyout there. So unfortunately, we got that news and broke it for you last week. It hovered around this $55, $56 mark, and now today it's getting rinsed downside a little bit. So yeah.
The real question is, what's going to break first? Is it going to be the 49 level or your body, DocuSign? I can't do a Bain impression. If I could do the Bain voice, I'd have done it that way for you guys. But Bain Capital dropping out and breaking the back of DocuSign. That's my pun. But I still like this at 46. And it's getting, the fact that it's getting closer to this, if it goes 10% down, I'm going to be looking for a potential bounce play on DocuSign. Almost no question. That doesn't mean it has to bounce, but the second it goes 10%, I'm going to be looking for signs of a curl and then trying to grab that long.
All right, I think it was last week, beginning of last week, we were talking about the worst day in 2 years for Chinese stocks in the Asian session. Last night was the best day in 2 years for Chinese stocks. So, yeah, volatility galore if you typically trade Hong Kong stocks right across the board. So, downside last week, we're back to the upside here right across the board for ADRs this morning. Yeah, I mean, I feel like a broken record, but guess what? There's more stimulus from the Chinese government coming.
Oh yeah, Brendo. They're really looking to strengthen their resolve to help prop up these slumping markets. Essentially, Xi Jinping coming out last night and saying that they're going to discuss Chinese stock markets with financial regulators. They are also moving to curb some more short selling to help more participation in the markets. We'll have to see how it does. ADR is up aggressively today. Do they hold on to their gains or do they sell off?
Yeah, it's actually the EV names, it looks like, anyways, that are hanging on to a little bit bigger gain than the rest. But there's Alibaba trying to turn back to the upside right now.
So one of the things that you always have to be wary of when it comes to these Chinese ADRs is when it the gap to the upside, then the fill in the gap move, where it bounces back down and you get a big sell-off and you like the news, you like the trend or the short-term trend, you try to go for the dip buy long and it rips the faces off. If you look at the close, I mean, come on, like 75 was a top in here, close 74.60. That gives you a shot at around that 75 for a dip buy. When you go to the daily chart, that'll show you the 76 level as previous resistance. That's two places you can go for the buy the dip. But there is also, I'm just going to show you one thing on the level 2 here, because this was here. Hopefully it'll still be there. Oh, you can't see it. So anyways, at $78, there's a 100,000 share order at $78. And that was there early in the pre-market. Like at a time when this was $1.50 away on light volume. It was trading down here like 8 o'clock, and there was already somebody with 100,000 just sitting on ARCA super early for no apparent reason at that 78 level. And then you pop over to the daily chart. Oh, look at that. $78 is the local high. Look, I mean, obviously you have 20 breaking on Palantir, 78. Obviously, there's going to be size there if that guy holds the order, that person holds the order at $78. So I think that can be a potential breakout. But I'd rather go dip buy hunting, and I'm going to be back looking at Pinduo Duo as well, because this gapping up 4%. You remember it did the flat bottom break at 136. That was kind of woodshedded. It has yet to break out this 130 top, but before it gets there, if this fills in the gap downside, I like this 124 to 125 where it was on Friday, just sort of basing out the entire afternoon in a $1 range. I feel like if it gets back down to that price, why wouldn't it settle back in there on PDD? So looking for the dip buy in both of them, but keep an eye on that 78 on BAVA. There should be significant size that level for a break.
Yeah, I mean, Alibaba yesterday was a hot dog kind of a trade. Oh, man, now we're starting to go back up again. Ugh. All right, so yesterday we bought 72 at the bottom of the day there, and lucky enough to get that, man. I mean, we wrote down 72 on the sticky note. It actually ran us over immediately down to 71.80, but that was not enough. I'm not taking a 20-cent hit. Then we wound up holding all the way to the end of the day, man. So yesterday's trade was definitely a good one. So we'll give props to Alibaba. And we also bought some in our own account. I'm not tooting the horn there. I mean, we've made some bad buys as well. But I just felt like China at some point was going to capitulate to the downside. I don't even think that happened yet. So I'm a little bit nervous about going long on these bumps. I would much rather play a dip. I wrote down here on Alibaba dips into 75, but again, you know, like this is 8:30, we're at 76.50, so I thought, you know, into yesterday's close if the market was weak, but the market is strong and we continue to go upside here. So again, it looks like pullbacks into VWAP is what it's all about. I hit BABA yesterday, we'll hit it today, but VWAP right now, I'm just gonna pull it up on another chart here just to make sure, because again, sometimes some of these VWAPs, if there hasn't been a lot of volume, which there has been, sometimes our charts won't calculate it properly. 77.08, so it's right here right now, and it pretty much, yeah, it's a couple pennies higher than what's on our chart. So, all right, 77 and change for Alibaba. That's too close for a dip buy for me. So I won't be doing that. Let's look for 76, 76.50. Basically, I have Alibaba and Palantir, the only two names that I have up on my other screens here. So we'll continue to watch out for those two. It's 9:25 right now. We just got the bang warning that we have to go over. Palantir, big one. Big one for NEO, so no surprise there. Big one for Alibaba. These are all buys that are going to hit the market QD. So it looks like XPEV is there. A lot of Chinese names. But look at this. Google with a buy. Apple with a sell. Right here, we haven't even talked about these names. When's the last time, honestly, that at 9:26 we haven't talked about Google, Apple, Meta, or Microsoft,
Never.
or Nvidia, or AMD?
Never. Oh, you know what?
Crazy.
I'm going to make a guess. The only time it happens is this particular day in earnings season. I bet you if you have to go back a quarter, and then it's when we have like Palantir earnings, and then we're looking at these other names because of earnings.
Or about to ruin it with Nvidia, but 9:26. I feel like, boys, this is the latest it's ever been for Chip Talk.
It's true.
We're leaving the best for last. Why not? Yeah, let's get NVIDIA out of the way. Nothing real significant as far as news this morning. A couple of interesting notes. Shout out to our friends at Benzinga. If you want a discount on Benzinga Pro, in the description right now, go check it out. Growth of $1,000 investment in NVIDIA versus SOX, the Qs, and the SPY. This is since the beginning of the year. Tells the story, all you need to know.
Wow. It went to 709 and a quarter at around 4:30 a.m. this morning. Doesn't really mean much on light volume. Keep an eye on this one to hold 700. But there's another headline coming out here, and this time it's a collaboration with Cisco. It's supposed to be unveiled today. It's going to allow Cisco to integrate NVIDIA's AI-focused technology with its networking solutions. So keep your eye on both those names today.
CSCO didn't really do anything on that. I mean, it was we were just saying it was kind of a vague headline. There wasn't really much detail on that, but worth a note for today, 700, guys, the key.
Yeah, the fact that it's broken it so many times here, it's not necessarily the same significance at the open because it's been back and forth 10 times. I don't know, there's a lot of lead changes like you're looking at a quality NFL game. Hopefully we'll get one on Sunday.
It will be.
No, I think it will be, but just nothing worse than a Super Bowl that gets out of hand. But if there's going to be a dip off the 700 level, I think the first place I look is the mid-80s. And it could be 83, it could be 85. Just once you do any kind of a wick bottom in that range, that's going to come into play for me. It just feels like, you know, if we were going to rally off 700, like why are we fading it every single time here? I'm talking about the market when it gets there. And if you remember, like Intel here we go. Intel had bad earnings, has yet to really make a defined bottom. It's held one higher low at 42 and a quarter, but it failed to make a higher high. The same top at 43.15 got put in on Friday and then again on Monday, so I think that's a short. And until you show me you can make higher highs, it's still in the penalty box on earnings to short some pops. And you can probably put AMD into that category. I just seriously doubt AMD gets to 180 or 181. Where I like it up there because that was previous resistance. More likely that Intel gets to 43.15 than AMD gets all the way up there.
Yeah, I actually have a short in and around 43 for Intel as well. We'll see if it can get up there. Again, I don't know if no, my number one stock yesterday was AMD, but it was not far behind, was Intel. So, and again, trying to be patient. Only 1 minute till the U.S. market opens.
Palantir just tagged a fresh high.
Yeah, Palantir went down to 20 again and then just went back up again. So, all right, 174 here for AMD. But yeah, the story is Palantir. Look at Palantir. It just touched 20.05 again and then just breaks out to new highs. This name's going to rock right here. It's 45 seconds, and Adara will be on the bell, so that should be an exciting start to the day. I just looked at Apple. I actually looking at a short now for Apple up at one. I mean, this is breaking. I don't know what's up with Apple right now as the market is higher. Apple's well lower. We want to short Apple at VWAP up here, 187.80 if we get an opportunity. I have no idea where that. There was small imbalances. Remember, we were looking at those, but I don't know. So we'll watch Apple now. We'll watch Roblox for some dips into 39, and we'll get ready to rock and roll now with only 10 seconds. So I will get alphabetically all set up here as we get ready to ring the red. Yeah, because my orders aren't.
Oh, in 5, 4, 3, 2, and ringing it, Adara.
All right. All right, 188. If we break 188, we're going to get out of Apple. So I'm just going to put that trade in. We're not in Apple, just saying. All right. Oh, Uber. Okay. This was another name. This is on the stock. This is on the stock market. This is on the sticky note right there, going long at 69.
Palantir 50s.
Yeah, I just got out of Palantir, some there at 50, so that was a good one. Or no, we did not. I'm waiting. Oh, it didn't break.
I got 40s.
I'm waiting at 48. So we don't have 48s yet, but that's okay. So we'll wait on Palantir, man. I don't have any reason to get out of that other than what Neil just said up at those levels. So there goes Palantir. But just real quick, Uber, we mentioned that this was at 70, and we liked that fact, but I did say that we could play dip buys in Uber. So we are now into that name on Uber as Palantir is pulling off that 50, so waiting at 48. Slightly wrong. 68.75. We'll buy some more Uber down here if it gets in there.
So like, yeah, Palantir is drawing back here decently. I was at 46, so just by the skin of the teeth, got to fill there. If it bounces another time off that 20 level, you know it should be pretty solid. But you're getting some serious movement to the downside on Nvidia. Is that starting to pull back off that 200 level? That's not New Zealand, of course. It's on the NASDAQ, Neil. That's 685. That's where I'd look for the first initial dip. If the chips are going to go down immediately, then unfortunately that's going to mean the ability to short the pop is limited in Intel for obvious reasons.
So we just took a yeah. Here comes Palantir, by the way. Good out, I guess. All right, so here comes, we have a big short in Apple. So we talked about, I mean, again, it's came through the backside, so we need to start getting some out. But we just took an 80 short, and we took, it's only a couple hundred shares, but still decent. Let's see if it pulls back. I don't just want to take it out now, obviously, but it's trying to get in. So it looks like there it is. So one last pull on Uber. If Uber breaks below 68.50, like we mentioned, we don't want that anymore. So right now we're long at 71. Let's start to put some offers out there in case we get a pop back up here for Uber, but it is looking a little sick, but this is not looking sick at all. Right now, 40 cents in the money on a decent position. Like I said, you take 500 shares, it's not a bad position. Whatever position you take profits when they lie. So right now, that's what we're trying to do anyways with Apple. Just took a little bit out there. Palantir, good reload at 20. Let's see where it goes. It looks like Uber is going to fail, guys, down here. So I'm going to take a little piece out at 67 if we can. We're only long at 71. And here comes, Apple just keeps on bouncing, dude. So be careful, yeah.
Sorry, not Palantir. I'll get to Palantir in a second. Alibaba just got to 76, and it's continuing to fill in the gap. No. It's at 75.86, so it's cracking underneath that 76 level. Oh, I got a
Uber is huge.
Stupid wicks there. I'm looking for a bounce in front of that 75 zone. So I'm gonna, once it reaches to 75 and a half, I'm gonna get a bit of a bid. But Palantir, I just reloaded it and scalped some out, and then it's immediately challenging back underneath. So I'm not in Baba just yet. But Palantir, oh no, it just bounced again. Okay, I'm gonna give this local bottom 1985. So just reloaded in front of 20s. I got a fill at 17s out. So we're going about 1-to-1, taking that 15 cents. But if it can't hold on to that local bottom at 1985, we're going to have to cover.
Man, we are really, really monstrous all over the place here again today. Like, I know it's not very humbling for me to keep doing this, but like, honestly, it's like, we just talked about these wins, and when they come in for me, I hope they come in for you, and if they don't, they don't. But like, this Uber trade is pretty monstrous for me right now. And then this Apple trade, if it wants to, I'm not even worried about, I didn't reload Palantir. If Apple continues to make a move down, then we're just going to keep on getting some more and more out, and there it is right now. This is a monster trade. We're up already more right now. We're up already more right now today than we were yesterday. That's the kind of day that we're having. And we have Palantir against us right now. What's up, A?
Another earnings name here, nice gap up for Coherent. This one reporting an earnings beat across the board. Good revenue projections for the next quarter as well, up about 17% right now, COHR.
Okay, new position alert should be in a second. Give me the fill. Give me always gets, Rivian. Don't be that guy. All right. Are you kidding me? Okay, I'm just gonna move to, never mind. I complained, I just got 90s on Rivian. So I have, apologies, there's a weird gap in here when Rivian broke 15. That should probably fill in, but you know Rivian in 15, I'm missing more data pre-market. Rivian 15 was the jam yesterday, got to 75. So on the way back, I'm shorting back into the 15 level.
Apple
I did not get
ripping.
Lucid, so obviously that never went anywhere near my entry point. But watch out, because Tesla's bouncing. And Tesla's bouncing a lot. Tesla's green in 5, 4, no, just kidding.
3.
Nah, it's really not a countdown. It'll get green, though, almost any second now. So I got to watch out for the other EV names. As a matter of fact, when I see that, if I can get anywhere close to the low today, we're just going to get out on Rivian. No short in Intel just yet, and Nvidia is right at that mid-80s. So Nvidia is in the mid-80s where we're looking for a potential bounce. Once I see it do a little bit of a curl, going to look for a bounce play. Nvidia failing the 700 level, big time.
I mean, guys, I was like, oh no, Apple was going to take me out. And I was like, no. Instead, we're reloaded. Right up there, another 50-cent winner there for Apple, back down into the downside. And like I said, man, today, shout out to Ice Cube and friends, is another good day, but it could get bad very, very quickly. So let's just start to exit some out. And like I said, if we can just have this kind of a morning and then just add on to it throughout the day, that is exactly what we will do right now. You want to talk about going 3 for 3? How about 1, 2, 3? Where's my guy over here? Here he is. There he is. Because look at Palantir. Look what Palantir's doing. Uber right now, 50 cents in the money. Apple, 30 cents. Palantir continuing, guys. Look where we're long. 1987. Good year, especially for my girl right over here. And she'll tell you why. It's Taylor Swift and Adara. What's up?
NVIV, a little penny stock here in Vivo, getting a nice boost up 150% to the upside. Some caveats with this one. It does have a market cap of under 700,000 and also a float of about 2.7 million shares. So just some stats to keep an eye on here with regards to NVIV, guys.
We'll keep an eye on it, but when the penny stocks are going, you want to be focused on them and sort of them alone. But there's plenty of things doing increased volume. Obviously, Palantir, Alibaba, new position alert for me. That just bounced. I'll zoom in so you can see. There you guys go. So that just bounced in the mid-70s off 75, 75. We like it in that 75 to 76 range, and it's shown you a couple of bounces. There's some long now at 76 even. Exactly. It's kind of weird. It got it back above, you hit enter, and it just got the even price. If it gets the first $0.50, I want to look to respect that. Rivian, as I said, Tesla is absolutely ripping faces off. It's
really?
Tesla's green now. So okay. Rivian at this point, I'm not saying I don't like the long anymore, but it is adjusting my litmus here. I'm going to have hard stop at 15 even. This is not one that I want to give all the way back up to the pre-market high. If Tesla's going to be strong, it's not to say Rivian has to follow Tesla, but I want to respect the fact that it could happen, and I don't want to get too out of the pocket there. So looking for the scalp, first 50 cents on Alibaba and Rivian, just keeping a close eye on it. It's at the money right now. I'm short 90, it's at 90.
All right. Yeah, I shorted Tesla here against 182, but bye-bye. It looks like it's going to go to the upside there as we thought we'd hop on this train, but the train seems to be just going choo-choo to the upside right now with Tesla, but we're short at 68, so let's put a bid down here in case it wants to come back down, but it is looking pretty juicy right now up at that 182. We wrote down 182 for a reason. We're going to get out if this breaks back above 182, like 25, something like that, but it's really going, and again, like I said, when you're wrong, you can just get out. Like, so right here on Tesla, this will be about a 50-cent hit, about 60 cents if we're wrong. So willing to hold it out there. We just got to bid? No, we did not. We're bidding 50s there. It did not fill. We just got to bid on fill on something else. Oh, that was Uber, by the way. Uber right now is a monster. So hopefully that'll continue to go back up to the upside. So is Palantir, man. I mean, this one was such a reload. It was stupid as we just get out at 40 there. Now we're out of Palantir. I actually had too many orders there to get out. So we are now out of Palantir, and let's see what happens with that one as it's still screaming to the upside. We should still be long, but good couple outs there. And again, that's my bad. I did not mean to be out. So if you're like saying, you know, why is this guy love Palantir but is out? I did put in too many.
Well, it's got a double top at 50.
Too many offers. Yeah, but I still like to hold it. So okay. Anyways, pull back in. We'll see if we get longer. That's the story.
You know anyone that watches the show knows my style. If it fails this double top, I'm getting out. Now, I got it back in on 20. I want the buys above 20, or I want them at 19. But if you fail this double top break, then I'm going to jam out. Oh my goodness, they filled about 500,000 shares in a single print at 50, and now
there goes Tesla.
And now it's refreshing, so watch out here. Yeah, if it doesn't break through that, I'm just going to jam it, because there's always the break at 50 in play. Come on, go, go, go. It's not really going. By the way, I did get Alibaba that first scalp trade, but this 50 level doesn't look like it wants to hold on Palantir. Yeah, I just took 40s out. Okay, let's go to the Dara. I just got it at 40 because that was a huge refresher at 50. They took 500,000 shares, and they just re-upped on that 50. Let's go to Adara, and of course now it breaks.
Volume spike here for GME, just to be cognizant. GameStop trying to run again here of about 3.5%. Not seeing any news on this one, but lots of Twitter mentions just coming in by the second here. Short float of about 20%, so not insignificant here. GME.
All right, so Palantir is now. See ya.
Bye-bye.
I wish I didn't get out of that one. But we're also in Alibaba right now, which is a 50-cent winner. That's going to be a good one. We do have one L today, unfortunately. We'll go 4 and 1. We have an L on Tesla. It just kept going. We tried the 82. We did get some bids there. Well, we got one bid at 60 or something as we realized we were in trouble. That's Palantir, and it's going to the, or sorry, that's Apple, and it's going to the upside. Palantir just continues to rip up, man. I actually forgot. Remember I told you I was waiting at 48, so unfortunately, that was enough to get me out of that trade. So that was that, and that was bad, but not bad. I'm still happy with it. Here comes Apple screaming back down in. We should take another bid here if we can get it at 77. Put another one back down at 60, and then we'll see if we can fall after that. So there it is. We take a 77 fill. We'll go a little lower. We've just reloaded this 188 short, but it's getting spicy up there. I thought Apple was weaker than the market. It actually turns out it's stronger than the market. So let's stay away from that one as we are wrong on that one. I know nothing about 10X, but I will continue to look at that. Today, Tisha, Apple, Baba, Palantir, Tesla, and Uber, man, that's like the Mag 5 right there. So I'm gonna stay on that right now. Yeah, I mean,
but just so you know,
the account is popping here.
It should be relatively obvious, but the second, like when Tesla broke out, I got out at 15 on Rivian. It was almost at the same moment. This is not breaking highs of the day yet, so I think like there's some leeway here for the short in Rivian. I just might try to take it at this 15 too.
Oh, no.
That looks a little bit better to me. So I'm just gonna stay in the pocket here on Rivian, wait for it to get the pre-market high. I'm doing the same thing with Lucid. I canceled my offer in front of 330 just to have things calm down and look for the same short, but try to catch it on my terms instead of just standing on the offer in these EV names. Alibaba is still bouncing. It's through the 76.5. That's where we got first out. 78 was that monster wall of a level. So I think trades go into 78 and then look for another trade coming out of it. But Palantir, I mean, you saw it real time. Like I made a plan of action. If it failed to double top at 2050, I was going to get out. So the play was 20 to 2050 a couple of times. 2185 is the 52-week high. I think that's what we want to respect. If Palantir gets there, I would suspect there's going to be a decent size offer. And bye-bye Tesla. Wow.
Yeah, I'm upset about Palantir because we should still be in it.
You could have longed. You could have just taken the 50 break, but I wasn't fast enough.
I mean, we have the bottom of the day. Like, why even get out of that? Like, look at this bid I have, 1980. We have a 1980 bid on Palantir. It's $1 up from there. Absolutely crazy, but we had it. We made money, so we'll step away from it for now. But that was a good trade for sure there. So Apple just broke, but obviously not strongly there. But we've been wrong on. I mean, Apple's my #1 stock, and I mean the funny thing is, look at Uber too. I mean, look at the bottom we have on Uber. We have 68.60 on Uber. It's now 60, and we just got out. So we actually got overfilled. So I quickly went short and got out there. But look, all the way back up. So, I mean, we're pretty good here today. We've recommended Palantir long, Tesla short, Alibaba long. We're still in that. Alibaba long is now 55 cents in the money, by the way. So that's going to be a good one. And then Uber, again, the long is right there. But Palantir against 21. I mean, probably really stupid to short this name, but here comes Palantir, right up into $21. There's absolutely no stopping this.
Oh, shoot.
So here comes a 21 break. Probably go long, I guess, but we'll see here on Palantir going through 21. Like, wow. Here it goes. I'm going to watch it and probably take this long. How much size was there? Not that it matters. I don't even know. 40? 400,000? Anyways.
That's generally what...
there it is. So there's the pullback. So if you took it once, great, but I don't think Palantir is going to be pulling back for long. Let's just see what happens. I'm looking to get reloaded up there, but it has to fall back into the 50 period or at least here to 2040, 2030, something like that. But we will take a small break through here on Palantir just to see what it wants to do. What's up, Adara?
Okay, there you go.
Just a heads up, C3AI is running right now. AI up almost 5%. Not seeing any news on this one, but apparently it is trending on Wall Street Bets today. Has a short float of about 32%, so just keep an eye on AI if you're involved in this name.
So without actually having seen any news on C3AI, that should just be Palantir sympathy, and it's got a short float. There's a million shares on the offer of Palantir at 21. So C3, if you're watching C3AI, keep an eye on Palantir. I think if Palantir dumps, you got to watch C3AI. I did jump in right back at the pre-market high on Lucid, waiting for it to make a curl, double top at 26. If it breaks that, I'm just going to get out. The EVs are rallying to the upside. It's a big level on Palantir for that 21 break. It just went now. I'm going to get C3AI shorts. Go ahead. Go to Sean. You got the long, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But I don't know if it's going to be any good. We'll see. We just took some out at 7. We're long at... we're long at 21 even, so okay. That was good. So we can start to get out a little bit more than I thought here as we are long at 21. So let's go, man. Honestly, we took some shares here, so we'll start just to get a little bit out here at 9s and whatnot on Palantir, 6, 7s. All right, well, we can now hold the rest of this. The pullback there, if we take out this bottom wick of $20.80, which it looks like it wants to do right now, then we'll get out. But we just got out of about half of that trade. So $20, a little bit lower, we'll get out of Palantir if we continue to make lows right there. So we'll average in a little bit more here, down near 90, but for right now, it is failing off 21. I mean, our best out there, I think, was 07s or 08s. 08s was our best out. So, like I said, there's another reload long there in Palantir. Now we'll wait to see if it can fly high. No lie, but so far we don't know this because it's not going any higher. But there's the out, there's the reload. We took some outs there at 98s. We'll wait again for those 08s, 05s, and whatnot. It's Palantir. Told you it was going to be a very, very aggressive name today. I mean, anybody could have told you that. So we'll have to watch out for that. Alibaba's pulling back in, but obviously my attention right now is on Mr. Carpin, friends.
Mr. Ali.
I mean, when the guy makes you this much money, you call him Mr.
Well, exactly. When you're also brave enough to have that quaff, which you should. It's like, who do you? My first salvo into C3AI was just there. I didn't like the fact that Palantir was getting under that 21, but I wanted that fail break. Just to quickly give you an idea, I saw it get to this high on C3AI, and I'm like, okay, let me short that local top. If it makes a fresh high, then I'll get out. But every time Palantir curls, I'd rather be looking at the sympathy name instead. So I'm going to keep it to that on C3AI if it breaks down. But I got my eyes on C3AI for that. Alibaba did come right back in 276. I'll zoom back in so you can see it.
Somebody just marketed Palantir up 15 cents. I've never even seen that.
That's like a
levitation. That's Kathy Wood. I'm dead serious. I was just watching. No, someone just bought like 3 million shares in one order. I was watching it.
That's not small.
This was down at, I was just saying, oh, we're going to get stopped out. And then all of this, it was at 20, no word of a lie, it was at 21.80. It went right to 21 immediately on that.
You don't see that very often.
I've in 22 years, I have never seen that. Well, I have never, ever Ever.
Robinhood on the earnings day when it
Seen
halted
that.
at the open, I saw that. And then it halted.
So Neil's
and it
seen
halted
that.
30.
But
But then it
I-
halted 30 seconds later.
Yeah, I have never not that much volume on a stock. Like that was at least 3 or 4 million shares. Immediately put on the bid, wiped everything out, and carried this thing. So whatever. Needless to say, I'm pretty impressed by that. So if you can't tell, so we got out when it ripped up there because we got to play that volume, man. And there it is, huge move. We just got out at 21.09. Like I said, man, Mr. Karp, thank you so much. This has been quite the ride. I'm glad to have been part of this direct listing. And in fact, you know, we're wearing this hat today, but here's the
I'm
Palantir.
surprised that you didn't wear the hat.
Here's a Palantir investor hat that had some dust and whatnot on it. There it is right there, man. As a Palantir investor, you have to be happy with a day like today.
Oh, you gotta. It can't be dusty on a day like today. You gotta.
We got to dust.
You
that-
gotta
we
brush
gotta
that
dust
one
off.
off. I think
We gotta
they've
dust
earned
that
it
shit off.
today.
We
to
got to
have
turn that hat into
overnight.
gold.
But the second, like you're now holding again at that 21. I said my plan of action for any retracement on Palantir was going to involve C3AI because they didn't have news, and it just made another top here at the 60 level. As Palantir can't hold 21, so I jumped back into that. We already mentioned Alibaba, but I wanted to get to Tesla if you can because the EVs just keep going higher. Got the local out on Rivian and Lucid, but Tesla just tagged 185 and did this little bit of a curl here. So if it's going to break 185 clean, 184.99 is the high of the day on Tesla, and it looks like it wants this one challenge of it clean. You already mentioned Apple. We haven't even talked about Meta, but there's a sympathy play to Spotify, and that is Snapchat already broke out. But I got to watch Tesla at this 185 level. Snapchat's already broken. I am looking for a dip buy in Snapchat, but 185 is about to happen here.
I mean, here goes Palantir again, right back to highs. So I'm going to take, I mean, I still have shares, man. We just took some out at 21. We're only long at 90. It's not, you know, I'm trying to save some. I just put another offer up here at 08, but honestly, there's definitely a buyer there. But if it breaks that 80, I believe we're gone. I think I was going to give it a little, I'm giving it a little bit more room, but the buyer just keeps coming in at 80, and I'm not going to test it one more time. You can see right here, look, there was someone at 90, it got hit there for 200,000 shares. So whoever was buying, I mean,
Volume's insane.
completely still there. So let's just wait for it. Like Neil was mentioning there, the volume is pretty insane on this one. So do I think Palantir can get to $24 before getting smacked? Palantir will.
24.
I mean, he said 25. Sorry, I don't know why I read 24 there.
Jack Bauer.
Can it get up? I don't understand what you mean before it can get smacked. I don't think this name has any reason to get hit to the downside. I mean,
You got to define smacked. What are we talking about? 10% pullback? 5%?
Yeah, something like that at least, I would think, when people are thinking about it. I would say, yeah. I mean, if you're long, I mean, I think it's a good story. I think that's just starting. But you know, to get aggressive, to be able to get out, I don't think that there's a problem that if you're long, to maybe get something out. I've been getting out of Palantir out of Nvidia, out of Meta. I mean, you guys have heard this. Meta, we did get some more money to work on Baba, which is pretty good, but still, like to get out of Nvidia and all that stuff at the levels that I did, I'm not out of it, but even to get out of 5% or 10% like I've been doing seems to have been wrong as Nvidia and AMD just continue upside moves. Like, sure, it's down 1% today, but who cares about 1%? This name was at $600 3 days ago. So, you know, you try to play the strength there against it. And by the way, you know, we already identified that there was a monster buyer here on Palantir. So, and we're still long at $21. We said this was going to be a big name for us. It's a huge name for us. So let's see where this goes. But so far, so good on Palantir there today. Like, why have ever gone short? Hopefully no one lost money short on this. That would have been ridiculous. But Palantir just continues to climb higher. We're getting out. So I'm getting out of this name now. We'll hold the rest and see if that holds that 2080. To the moon with Palantir, but I'm already out. We only have about 20% left of that reload right now.
I gotta say, if I have a new rule for myself, it's kind of already been a rule, but if there is a sympathy play, if you want to be a retracement trader or like short the pops or parabolic mover, if you're gonna do those types of shorts, if there is a chance to short a sympathy name over the one that's actually going, then do that 100 times out of 100. Because when Palantir broke that high, I just got 30s out on the AI short at 49. And Palantir broke the high of the day. So we'll get back. We lost the first short on AI and be happy that we did. because it's Palantir that has the news, not C3AI. Let's go to the desk.
Wait, what?
We got Adara.
A note here, the stock not super reacting to it right now, but PayPal on watch, PYPL, a researcher from Altimeter Capital releasing a note basically saying time for a radical transformation, saying that PayPal really needs to get more financially in shape, especially with regards to further cuts here, saying that PayPal has too big, too bloated is the word they used. Keep an eye on PayPal after that note, guys.
Tesla, I just had the Tesla break at 85. It went 25 cents and then insta-failed.
Break. Okay, so it failed lower.
Yeah, no, it absolutely failed lower.
Okay, so I was thinking about Rivian up here.
Like I just had it at like, what did I get? I'll double check the fill, but it was just above 85. I actually think I might have got ones or twos, but it immediately failed it. The breakout trade to me should go right away. If it goes a second time, got to be worth it. I'm gonna chance fate here. Rivian's at that 15, 20 level as well. So it's right on the precipice of yesterday's high. Good thing we got out of that one at 15. That's an absolute rocket ship along with.
What are you thinking about Rivian? Just long off that 15 or?
It's 15, 25.
I know, I'm watching it right now. That's
right here. Like but Tesla needs to carry through. I'm not going long Rivian if Tesla's not holding 85s.
Yeah.
Bump that. Alibaba's continuing to go as well, but Palantir, that 52-week high, 21.85, that's going to come into play, I think. Pretty sure about that. But if we get there, fair enough. It's not all roses. I'm just going to point out AMD is dying, down 3%. And there's no way. We've seen dip and rip before in AMD because look what it did yesterday. It bounced off the 171 level. I got 166 down here. I was watching other names, but suddenly AMD at 166 looks very spicy. And we can forget about that Intel short. That's only continuing to go down. So it's a bit of a swing and a miss. I feel like you almost have to be sitting in that short if you want to get it. I'll give Tesla another chance at that 185, but Rivian is setting up. If Tesla does it, Rivian's at that key 15-20 price.
Yeah, Baba's long off 76 right now. I was just talking about that, and that's going to be a nice one, but let's see if it continues to go. And by the damn way, like we were long Palantir $20 break. It's now up 28% and at 21.50. Like that is... I mean, if there's reasons, again, we were just joking about this as well, but you know, on the podcast, we give trade ideas. And I don't know if there's been a day where we haven't talked about Palantir, especially even on the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to everybody for watching. And thank you again. It's just been another one of those recommendations there that hit today. And sometimes, you know, sometimes they'll miss, but we've been talking about Palantir for a while. So we're all googly-eyed off this one as it might have just topped out. Remember, I mean, again, Neil and I both talked about some of these levels that could come into play. That level is 21.90. We just went to 21.40 there. Basically that exact top. So we're only in a small piece now. We talked about that, about, what did I say, 20% left. So we're going to try to hold it. But again, good trade. If it breaks 2080, we're out. And I'm not even going to feel any kind of ways about it at all. So that's fine. If that continues to go up, I want to hold it. And then I asked Neil about Rivian as I was already short. So I wanted to hear what his opinion was. I'm just short here at 15.23. It only went down there just as we looked at it right now to 18s. So I put a bid at 16. Let's see if this wants to continue to make a move down here. It's Rivian, and again, it's just a nice bump up. I don't like the name, so I'm out of it. So that's what I'm trying. Not that I don't like the name, it's the EV space. So we'll wait to see. If it takes 15.30, we'll get out. So I just think it's worth it. The high is right here for 5 or 6 cents worth of risk. I feel like, see my screen is flickering. I feel like we could pull back to 15.05, maybe even 15 as well. So worth the risk, but well understood that if this goes 10 pennies against us, we're out because the risk to reward on this name right now, especially with our only loser being Tesla today, right there, not really worth holding the bag on Rivian. So that was my thought on that. And the Alibaba trade, let's just let it continue to cook, man. I mean, I think you can get back to 77.
Yeah, remember, there's that big seller at 78. Well, there was one in the pre-market. It's a big level. Once it breaks 77, I'm targeting out between 77.5 and 78. You haven't really had a chance to dip by just yet. Ash just said, any suggestions short on NEO today? Up 8. Remember the entire Chinese, all the ADRs are gapped up, but you guys can see the chart. Like in front of $6 is like the 590 level, I suppose. It's already done 18 million shares. I feel like NEO would have done 3 times as many shares today if Palantir wasn't already past 100 million. I think you got that going for you if you're looking for shorts, but I would wait until it reaches one of those bigger highs or something along those lines. I don't want to be fighting that one too much. I do like Lucid is now back at that. We got out of it when it broke the local high. That was at 326 level. And back off and want to wait for it to show another chance at this 335 the last couple of days. So it's at 34. If it bucks this 35 level again, Tesla's pull back off 185. I'm going to go for the short, probably try to get 33s. If we can, that would be the ideal price. Mike Bray saying, let's go SoFi. I don't know where SoFi is because I haven't looked at it yet. I'm looking for my next fill to be in Lucid or maybe C3AI to the short. But I'm hoping it's to the upside on SoFi if you're cheering.
Yeah, probably. I mean, SoFi would make sense today going up because of Palantir.
Yeah.
Just because some of these lower names that have catalysts, you know, like low float, not low floats, but short float. Another very popular. Look at this. Look at Palantir. Look at Palantir. Yes, sir. Wow. Mike Crehan feeling it right now with 5 memberships. Thank you so much. You, my friend, Mike Crehan, must be a Palantir shareholder. I actually cannot wait until the end of the show here to go into Yi account and see what's up with that on Palantir. Because honestly, man, I bought in so many, I don't even know what my average price is. So I want to go in there, find out, and I will probably take something out. So get ready for that. Oh, there it is. There's Rivian. So again, man, nice move to the downside. It sucks that we'll have an L today on Tesla, but looking pretty good here for RIV to the N as Rivian trying to make more lows here. Into 13, yes, sir. Sign me up, Rivian, if we can get this, man. We know that we're kind of playing against the grain a little bit here with Rivian. So
Tesla pull back $2.
Yeah, okay, good. So this is, we're still him, guys. Oh, Canada. Shout out, man. We've got the hat on. You know, we're feeling it today. We've got the podcast. We've got Mr. Palantir in the building. We've got Alibaba. We're taking the Uber rides around town today. We've got Apple in the pocket. Apple is my top stock. Well, Palantir. Apple's in the pocket today. Yeah, so far so good, guys. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Oh, Canada is right, Frank Jones, as we continue to go. The stupid Maple Leafs last night there, Patrick, losing 3-2 to the New York Islanders. But hey, they're not a bad team. Shout out to Matthew Barzal. That guy's pretty hot fire these days. But anyways, all right, let's go. There's Rivian. Hey, we love dime pieces around here. And there's another one. It's Rivian, and it's brought to you by Trader TV Live. Another one, and brought to you by Rob is a coffee. Thank you so much, Rob, for that one. Palantir now new highs of the day. And we're here again right now. Probably get a piece out here. Let's just do that at 43s there. And that's it, man. Palantir up now 28% and rocketing.
So before we go to happening now, what's crazy is I just realized, and when you're trading individual names, they're doing their own thing. I just realized the NASDAQ broke its lows and is continuing to the downside. Now, I did short Lucid. We'll get to that in a second. We got to get to the desk. We've got happening now.
Slightly positive here on the SPY right now on this Tuesday. Earnings, of course, on watch. Palantir, Spotify, and also after close and before market tomorrow, some other interesting names coming out as well. So definitely stay tuned for those. Could impact the market. Also worth noting, lots of Fed speakers coming today. We have Fed speak at 12, 1, and 2. So lots to keep an eye on. Could potentially be making some moves for the SPY and the overall market as well. In terms of individual movers, Tesla initially trading a little bit lower after a downgrade from Daiwa Capital Markets. Now we're up about 1 1/3%. Note here coming from Choice Hotels hotels announcing that they have an agreement with Tesla to offer Tesla universal wall connectors at some of their hotels. Spotify here too, up about 8% after earnings. They did miss on the number side, but they did report increases in their monthly active users for their ad-supported and premium tiers. Nice look for Spotify. Last but not least, do keep an eye on some of these more heavily shorted names because some of these are running. We had C3AI. We also have GME and Carvana now pulling back a little bit, but up about 5% with a short float of about 17%, guys.
So about that market, Meta is, I mean, we showed AMD already. Meta's at 455. I'm just going to very quickly give you a 15-minute chart.
What? Have you seen Meta's chart?
Yes.
Right, okay, good. Wow.
On that earnings gap up, 453 was the bottom, and then it ran $27 almost in 2 candles on a 15-minute chart. So that's the level. If you're looking at something else, it should be maybe 450 because it's a fat round number. But I'm going to throw that one up on one of my level 2s because I want to be ready on the chance that we actually get a move into 453. That is dying. AMD, I said 166. We'd look for a dip buy there. Tesla's going to make another run at 185. Got to watch out for Lucid. Alibaba, just so you know, Alibaba kind of continues to just hold this 76, 70 area, as a top and some higher lows. I haven't looked for an ad just yet, but I think it could come into play. I did say I would be more into Pinduoduo, but PDD never came down to my dip buy price. 124 to 125. So unfortunately, no trades there. But it's Meta that's got my attention. If that 453 gets in, I want the long there.
No, I'm feeling you on that one. I actually went over and just shorted Google, which is now nothing. It's 10. Well, we always say we're going to take it. We always say we're going to take a piece out on the dimes, right? And so let's just do that. It's down to 24s now, so it'll be a little bit better if there it is. We get that fill. So again, it is just. But it's temporary on that. All right, I feel like we did good. We got out of half of what we had on Palantir. Neil and I both mentioned, there it is again. It's back up to that level. It went up to that 2150. We had talked about that wick high. We had talked about what it looks like on the daily right there. So I got out of half of what I have left. And now, unfortunately, like Russell Wilson, let's ride. But we're just riding with, we don't have Cortland Sutton or we don't have Javonte Williams. We don't have any good players left because we just have very, very light. We have one good player.
They're going to trade one of those.
Maybe we have Jerry Jeudy left on board.
They're going to get rid of him.
Yeah, I know. The Packers wanted him, but now the Packers have a plethora of wide receivers. If they do that, man, I'm hopping off that bandwagon. But okay, I'm not. But Rivian, just quickly here. So we're out of half of Rivian. So that was good. I feel like we're probably going to get stopped out of this. So I'm going to take a little bit more up here because we retraced up, but I want a better price than we currently have. So I'm actually at 27s right now. So if that fills, we're going to get out on a breakthrough 30. We just got some more Google shares. The thing about Google is, I know this seems a little bit strange. It's up today. So Neil was just talking about Meta cracking and apparently I guess some people I heard saw talk. I didn't even look at
What about Microsoft?
I think Microsoft was cracking lower as well. Yeah, so people were talking about Microsoft lower, Apple lower, Nvidia's breaking lower. That's my bad on AMD. We should be short AMD, and I'll give you the level in a minute. So I was just okay, well, a name that's been beat up, I'm just trying to talk you through why I chose Google. Google's had a hard time going. It's been one of the weaker names. I mean, everything else seems to be at or near, before 20 minutes ago, their highs. And so Google to me was one of the weaker names. But are we rotating out now of Meta and stuff like that? Not out, but money changing sort of from one name into another. So let's be careful with this Google trade. Maybe it just does moon here against everything else. By moon, I just mean go up. It's already up 0.5 against a negative market. Was not expecting this. So when things don't work out according to plan, it isn't that hard to get away from it. So we will get away from this. Look at VWAP is up here at 64.65. I really think we don't hold this through 145. We'll take another average price in here around 60s, and then we'll wait for 145. But I'm not feeling super confident about this trade as it's
Tesla broke again. Watch out.
Tesla broke higher. Okay, so that's crazy about Tesla.
Which is it's jokes because
yeah, we're in Rivian, but
Tesla breaks the high of the day, and I short Rivian. I go 1-to-1 for the first out, then it takes out the top again. One in, one out, and that's just how I'm going to roll. I'm not going to go against if I see Tesla curl, I'm going to take a short on one of the other ones, and that's what we try to do. But Tesla is absolutely It's just flat out running. If there's one fail today, it was getting out of the C3AI short at 25.30. That got all the way down to 25. Like when Palantir's turning, this is much, much weaker on sympathy. So the next time I see Palantir pop into the high, if it fails, I'm going to go back to the well with C3AI. Let's get to the desk. We've got Adara once again.
Tons of movement happening in this Advantage Technologies, jumping up and down about 20% just right now here. This one is a penny stock. Yesterday announced that it will be delisted from the NASDAQ, but also worth noting because this one has a market cap of just over 500,000 and a float of just over 900,000 shares. So really worth keeping an eye on this. If you're going to get involved, definitely be careful, guys.
Tesla is so...
AEY. Yeah, so, all right, so in one trade that worked and one trade that didn't. So there's Google, nice little fall back in, man. We took a piece, we were sitting there at 30, we got to fill on that. We didn't get more shares. We could have used the 50 period. I think we'll sit there now at 54 on Google and see if we can get something up there. But ultimately, the price that we wanted was 60s. What is that from? There's like little pieces of plastic everywhere. Oh, it must be. We're doing
Is this falling from?
I don't know. Like what? This was all over the Palantir hat as well. There's like little pieces of it's like tape, but it's plastic. I don't know.
It's a little.
It's all good. All right. So, all right. So we just talked a little bit about Google.
Randy.
We want to do that. Yeah. Nice from Randy. All right. So we'll wait for that. Nice fall back down in here for Google. So this is the trade that we want. Pretty happy with it here on that short. We will look to get more short on something. Uber. I'm seeing it on the chat here that okay. So. Uber went right into another reload level there for us, but I'm trying to look short now, man. I mean, this market is breaking. I don't want anything.
I want Intel short.
I don't want anything. Yeah, exactly. I don't want anything. Yeah, that'd be a good one. I don't want anything to do with longs. That's for sure. So right there, we'll just hit it again and spin it. So Google right there just goes right into the pocket. It's another 20-cent winner. Brought to you by Sundar Pichai and the family over there at Google. Thank you so much for that. Bang! Right there, man. Maybe we'll switch over to a Pixel and I'll come back into the crew right there. Google with a nice move back in. Hell yeah, man. Today, once again, is another good day. Yeah, Baba short. Yeah, maybe.
I'll be real. Like, I feel like this happens every single day where the initial move, it didn't happen yesterday because Intel actually gave it a little bit of a bounce at the open, but the initial move, you had to be sitting in the Intel short. So first available pop was at 940. We were obviously looking at some other things at that time. You guys all know that. The second pop was right in here to this double top 42.35. And if you find a consolidation bottom, that's generally the setup. It's like wherever it consolidates, if you're looking for the stairs down, just take the stairs down. Because the market is falling right now. Like I know Palantir is up a bajillion %, and there's some other squeeze names going, but like it's weird because it's like
that
Bob is in the money.
bajillion.
But like look at the NASDAQ. Like we're cracking down. Like had to find something short. So you go back to the well. Okay, what's the thing that you shorted most days? Usually it's a firm or Intel. Today it'll be Intel right back into the low. Like you go into the second it makes a top, look how quickly it retraces to the bottom. And so the other thing I wanted to look at was a firm.
The sky is falling.
This is actually strong today. Let's stay away from the Affirm short, at least for now. Why is Affirm strong? Probably because of these squeeze names are going higher. That's my guess. So Affirm, wait for 44. If it's going to be strong relative to the market, wait for the best level. And above 42, that's a big gap. That would be 44. So we're going to hang on to that. We're ringing the register on Intel. And Meta, if the market continues to fall, that 453 could come into play right quick. I should have taken that coffee. Rob came by. And I was like, oh, I'm good. But it's only 10:10.
Problem is my other two coffees are half full. I don't drink them all. All right, so it's funny that we only have two red names today, and they're both Rivian, and they're small. But, well, Tesla was decent. Rivian was what it was, and then Tesla, thank God, we only had 100 shares, and we wound up losing about 50 cents. So, $50 down there on Tesla, well within the pocket. All right, Neil mentioned going to find a name to short. Well, we already did that, and we crushed it, Google. But we're almost out. because it went down into 144, and we took a bunch of fills there. We took some at the bottom of the day, which is right here at 10s. That's where we got a lot of our fills. And then I believe we have an 06er in 07 we got as well. So we'll hold on to that, see if it wants to get back down. Let's just do a little bit of a look on the NASDAQ right here. I know, Liv Wilson, I'm with you, man. I've been selling Nvidia too soon my whole life, apparently. If you sold Nvidia any other day other than this morning, you probably sold it too early. I mean, now it's starting to finally go down. We'll wait to see. But here's the NASDAQ here for a longer-term play. 17.8, we talked about it hitting its head up against that, and if it failed it, then this is what was going to happen. So that's obvious. Now you're running into 17.580. So again, that's where the 200 period is. We're below VWAP, we're below the 50, we're below everything else. We're below support up here, or resistance up here. Now we fall into support. And 17,500, this realistically is right here. So another 100 handles down is what I think right now before you get any support. So you could drop another 100 here, and if we do that, then we're all good on that one, and we'll wait to see what happens. We were short Apple. Obviously, that's possibly going to get back in right now for me here on Apple. We made the mistake. We didn't make any mistake. Apple is going to be a top name because we hit that short early, but man, that went all the way to 189. So look at Apple, guys. I'm debating a long. It's just, can we go long? Like, you have a lot of support here. The 200, the 50, the VWAP, everything is right here right now. So that could be a really, really good one coming through. But guess what just happened? Neil's probably still in it, so that's good. So let's do this. It's not that, it's this. There we go, man. $1 for Alibaba, 76 long, up to 77, man. You can't get any better than that. We're on the sticky note. This is a newer position in my account. And again, you want to talk, finally, I feel okay. Rotating out of something to put money in somewhere else. We got it into Baba for now, but I'm still not loving the whole Chinese rhetoric and everything. So
by the time it's made a bottom, you won't be able to have gotten the bottom. So it's like...
No, like I bought 72s.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't... Their report is tomorrow, which could absolutely be disastrous. So we'll wait on it. I have no idea. I think it's
fine.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really. It's a long-term play.
Because if you're buying Alibaba on its like valuation,
Palantir is
then you got to hold.
highs.
So Palantir, I was about to say, because I'm looking at C3AI. I told you guys my plan of action. If Palantir fails the 52-week high, I paid for locates on C3AI, which is up because Palantir is up. Just to keep in mind here, C3AI has a 37% short float. They report, hey, look at that, February 28th. So the second last day of the month, because it's a leap year, which my daughter reminds me of every single day. I don't know why she loves the leap year so much.
Because it's unique.
I know, but she's like really...
Everyone loves leap
She's like way too into it. Like, you'd think you were born that day, but you're not, sweetheart. You were close, but not quite. So C3AI looking for the curl. Palantir is 25 cents away from a 52-week high. If it gets there and turns, then I want to look at high of the day retracement on C3AI. And by the way, Intel just bounced, not bigly, but right off the lows, right back into this 42.35. That's a strong bounce. I might get out if it breaks out this local high, and it does mean, yeah, Meta, maybe we won't see that 435 after all. So 453. It just bounced off 454. I don't want to have missed this bottom because it wicked $1 away. So if I get a second shot at this, I might try to take it off of the local low here on Meta. I like the bounce off that earnings level, but 53 might have come and gone, or the bounce near 53 might have come and gone.
All right. I'm just going to, it's a new position. I said I don't want to go long, and I'm long Disney here.
Market's bouncing.
Yeah, I know. Oh, by the way, shout out to my wife who just hopped in my personal chat and goes, oh, it's okay, don't worry about losing on Rivian. She wants a Rivian. I'm like, well, then I should be winning on Rivian. Like, I mean, the more I lose on it, the further away we are from acquiring a Rivian. Like, I don't, so shout out to my wife, I love you. We'll try to make it back on Disney here a little bit as we go ahead.
Well, you want the company to survive.
Yeah. Well, trust me, the amount of shares that I'm shorting there is not, it's not bankrupting that company by any stretch of the imagination. But all right, anyway, shout out. Thanks to Marissa again for streaming all the pods and all that kind of stuff as we go. And working on some of the, she does all of my, not all of them, but some of the cooler social media posts that I put up there on Instagram. So I want to thank her for that as well. All right, we do have a new Instagram. We do have a new social media team working on it. So leave your comments and all that kind of stuff. Go check it out on Instagram at tradertv.live. I don't think they're over on TikTok yet because there's a lot of people impersonating your guy over here. So we need to get that all settled out. But for right now, unless they are posting on TikTok, are they yet, Brendo?
I don't think so. They are?
Okay, so they are on TikTok. So there you go. Thanks for that one, Ramin. So go find that out. So I guess we must have got that account back. Do not follow any TikTok accounts that claim to be this guy because we ain't over there. All right, so there it is. Let's go Disney. We said we'd wait for it, man. Let's see if we can get back up to the upside. It's not necessarily giving us any money yet because it's not breaking through 97. I'm offering 97.03s because we just stopped there. Let's get going to the upside. Let's see if we can hold this one as we're pretty cooking right now. Baba's that dollar, man. And look at Palantir. I mean, this name just is like, okay, up to 20, as Neil mentioned there, up to 2160 and absolutely cooking right now, man. There goes Disney. Let's go cook, Disney, cook, man. Your report comes in a couple days, and hopefully it's going to be a good one. That's DI to the S. It's Disney.
Yeah, it's still a big week of earnings and lots of earnings to come through. If Palantir gets to that high, you know my eyes are on C3AI. Someone just said, can you short that top on Palantir? If you want to, sure. I'd rather, it's up to you. I'd rather watch it fall, and I am keeping eyes on Palantir here as it climbs look at how steadily it's climbing.
Disney,
that's not out of control. 2185, if it turns at that 52-week high, then I'm going to look for the first available opportunity to short in C3I that sets up. That's my plan of action. Everyone, you can always just sort of do you. I just reloaded Intel, so it made a bit of a bounce off the low of the day, came back underneath that 30 level. It might take out that 35. There you go. So give it to the local high. Once it breaks, I'm jamming out of it. That'll lead me back to Alibaba. It hasn't really carried through 77, but it's holding above 77. Now I think you're looking at the VWAP dance on Alibaba. It's holding VWAP rather nicely. I think that could be the next level to work into on Alibaba. I haven't really liked the dip buy because it's still, I wanted it to break the opening range and show me strength above it. Now that it's doing that, I think going into something off VWAP is going to make some sense. So as Palantir gets close to that 2185, I got out of mine probably too early, and I'm looking for that short, as I said, on C3AI. We're not going to get meta 453 anytime soon, but we still like that level for the dip. You want to be patient, and obviously there's a lot of opportunities, Palantir, to make some good money this morning. But if you're going to short that one, good luck to you. Just always have an out. That's just my advice. Always have an out.
Guys, this is like more than 10% in the money off that fill. We've obviously gotten more, and it just shows you our last price. So right there on Palantir. And Neil's not wrong, man. Any out that you've had on Palantir so far has been too early. I mean, and I'm only holding a small piece. I wish.
Just don't short without a stop.
That's what I was saying. I don't think you should short, period. But yeah, up against 22. Yeah, exactly. So that's exactly right. If there's a stop, go for it, man. But all right, Disney broke, and believe it or not, man, we've got 6s, 7s, 8s, and 10s out for Disney. So it broke above, man. We scalped some out. We're out of 60% of it. That's how much I didn't believe in the longs here today. Out of 60% of Disney, as we are at our highest spot so far here today. Thank you for rocking with us, man. And we may go casual looking even more often here if we could put up days like this. So feel good, trade good, over to the desk with some more good.
Small caps IWM actually doing a little bit different from what we saw yesterday morning, down about 2% yesterday morning. Now we're actually, seems like we may be making a bit of a top here, but still up about 0.7% here for that Russell 2000 small cap ETF. In terms of individual movers, we have this Karyopharm Therapeutics KPTI. Yesterday, as you can see, we had a good day yesterday as well. There were some rumors circulating around that there could be a potential buyout candidate or a takeover possibility for this KPTI. EHang also on watch here. Not seeing any specific catalyst on this one. A few social media messages, mentions here, a little bit discussed on Twitter, and this one does have a short float of about 13%. So something to keep an eye on here. EH, the ticker for EHang. Last but not least, Nvidia making some nice moves to the upside here, up about 40%, addressing some financial concerns and its EBITDA guidance for 2024 here. So lots of these small caps running around right now, guys.
go right now, man. Disney blowing up. Palantir new highs. Google sending to the downside. Alibaba's $1 in the money. Damn, Daniel. Like, what is even happening today? This is, again, just another, oh yeah, it's a day that ends in Y, my bad. But here we go, man. This is like, again, having fun, trading. Like, this is why it's been 22, 23 years in the making. My career. And the thing is, man, I'm so glad to be back on the trading side. Like, I was on the coaching side, the training side, the development side, the corporate side, and then now spurned by passion, fueled by you guys, we come back in here and just start to do a little bit of this. And there it is right now. It's another one here today. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. We just got some more out on Google. Like, as if we pick a name to shorten it, Tank City, and then we pick a name to go long. We just got some more out there on Disney up at the upside, 10s and 8s as we continue to climb. And then, yeah, man, we have Palantir right now. And this has been, I mean, it's just been that day. Plus $1 in the money on Alibaba. What's up, Shooter McGavin? Let's go, man, on that one. And, you know, I don't know, the next thing up for us, I guess, is just to join the Live Tour. But how can I do the Live Tour and this, you know? I don't know. Waiting for the agent to call. I guess I got to get an agent first. Any agents out there? Hit me up. Twitter, @TraderTVSean.
What the hell is going on with Live? I thought there was supposed to be
I don't know, I'm waiting for that phone call.
There was supposed to be that deal between them and LPGA. You guys are the golf fans, so I thought you guys would tell me. But
Yeah.
Look, Palantir did make a 52-week high. Not break. I actually have it tagging 2185 exactly. So when that happened, the second I saw it turn there, I just punched short on C3AI. That was the plan. I got 74s. The high of the day sits at 85, so that's 12-cent slippage worth of risk. Once we get into the 50s, that'll be just a little bit better than 1-to-1. I can actually be sitting on the bid where it is right now. So that was the plan. Obviously, Palantir, you could go into Palantir off that 52-week high. Or to me, go into the sympathy name. Like I got out of it way too early. But 2185 was the 52-week high on Palantir, and that's the reason I like that short. Ozan, we did discuss Eli Lilly a little bit pre-market, but not a heck of a lot. And Eli Lilly actually broke 700 clearly yesterday. Made a bit of a rally to the upside and then pull back. They did have, the earnings were, obviously they're good. But there's a little bit of sell-off going on. It's filled almost the entire gap in. I think maybe you can have a look at the 700 level. It closed at 06s with a 95 bottom in the afternoon. So somewhere in the middle is that 700 level worth a watch there on Eli Lilly. Not much of, it's not a day trading stock that I'm a huge fan of, so I won't jump into it. Love it in the long term, all that good stuff, but I don't think I'll be day trading that one. In the midday, I know where Daryl will. So I'm just going to ring the register 2158s. On C3AI as Palantir pulls back just a little bit. The other thing was the market making fresh lows. I went right back to the only other thing that I was shorting, which was Intel. Get wicked out. You know the plan of action. If I make the top wick, it usually means I should be getting back in if I like the short. Not always. But sometimes if you make top wick and it immediately starts failing again, then that's the short you like, then don't try something else. Just go back to that one, and that one is Intel. Down 1% as the NASDAQ's only down 0.5%. Meta's just broken 55. So that 53, maybe we will get that 453 after all on Meta. But the new position is not really new. It's just back into Intel at essentially the same area.
All right, guys. Just messaging Neil and Brendo here because I just got 3,000 impressions. I don't know if that's high or not on LinkedIn this past week. So thank you again for supporting everything around here. And again, go find me on LinkedIn as I continue to post up as much content for you guys as possible. And if you don't like it, that's fine. You can unsubscribe or do something like that. But right now, okay, so we are out. We just got more out on Disney there, right there at 03s, 02s there, as it started to break a little bit lower. So we're going to have to watch out now. We just took a major out on Google as it just like cranked lower. I was looking over there. And again, I don't have a problem admitting that I'm a P&L chaser. So that's fine. Like, you know, once it gets down into the money and I'm just like, what the hell's going on? It's just like why I'm noticing what's happening here with Disney. The good thing about Disney is, like I said, we only have about a third, less than that, a quarter of our position left on Disney. But it's coming right back into a level here. where I was, let me just check my stop. I thought it was 80s or so. Actually, see, it canceled again. Like, I don't understand. All right, so the low of the day here, Disney looking pretty sick. We didn't want to go long, which is why we got out, right? And we picked on the Google short, which Google now is, again, another top name, so I can't complain. Yeah, 96.75. So I'll try again here, I guess, and I'm going to put a 96.75 out on Disney, and we'll try to get a little bit longer down here, okay? So that'll be that, but again, the market's pretty sick. I'm glad that we picked on Google on the short, but honestly, like AMD would have, I don't know if AMD would have been fine at that point because it is starting to come back. Nah, not really. So there's the bounce there to 169. So yeah, that's pretty sweet. We're looking for 50-period bounces, by the way, and that was one right there. So missed opportunity on that, and that's part of why we picked on Google. We went over there, we saw the 50, we saw VWAP, and we knew that Google had been weak the last couple days. I was surprised it was up. So yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of being able to sit here. You can pick on, and I say that, you know, you can pick whatever name you want, is what I'm getting at. You're not married to one or two positions here, so you can get out. Why are you mentioning Roblox? Just quickly, Neil, here. Why is someone, yo, what's up to Refrain? Oh, damn, Refrain. Refrain, why you have to bring this up to me? No, we wanted Roblox dip buys, but again, my bid's still there, 39.25, but yeah, that does not appear to be hitting right now, Refrain. So yeah, good call on Roblox, I guess, but we don't have it, so a call is only as good as your execution, and we don't have it right there, but we do have Palantir, we have Google, Disney, and Baba, but the market's falling back in here. I'm gonna start to protect my neck and protect some of the longs. So there's Disney, we just got filled, let's see what happens.
Yeah, I think you got, this is that time of day, 10:30 just about to hit in a second, but I just got some out of Intel. A higher low is getting put in, 42.40. Yeah, 42.20 has had a bit of a, not really a double bottom, there's a 3-minute chart, but the first bottom's at 15s, couple of wicks, and then once it held a second time, I just took a little more out there. You want to make sure you're grabbing your profit where it lies. Baba, I really thought this was extending to that 78 level. Like I said, there was a monster seller in the pre-market just sitting around at 78 for no good reason when the stock was trading. And this was early at like 76.5. So I felt like, hey, gravity heads toward that. It's a big level on the daily. VWAP is a potential retracement for Alibaba. I am still short the C3 AI as Palantir is pulling back. I want VWAP in here, retracement back into VWAP, although I still say it's VWAP. But if we get this 25.40, that's where I want the out. The trend is to the upside on the stock, so pullbacks. Every time Palantir dips, I've been going into the short here, putting the stop at the high of the day, and jumping in. Right now, we're 2 for 3 because the first one did not work out. Hey, let's go to the desk for something that we have not really talked about today. What is going on in the world of crypto, Adara?
Disney.
There's actually some stuff going on in the world of crypto right this second. Janet Yellen speaking and saying that they've identified gaps in digital asset regulation and that they would welcome efforts by Congress to create regulatory frameworks with regards to stablecoins. So interesting notes coming right now from Janet Yellen. In terms of Bitcoin itself, just right above that 43,000 area. So nice little move up here. Still very much a bit in a range from the start of January to now, just around that 42, just below 43, just above 43. Right now, though, not too much happening in general with these cryptocurrencies. Again, pretty mixed. Bitcoin, yeah, like I said, just above that 43 now. We're 43,250. Ethereum nicely above that 2,300, trying to get to that 2,350 area. Rest of these pretty mixed, a little bit up and down. Cardano down about 0.5%. Avalanche down about 2%. Solana down 1.5%. Not a lot of positivity in these names, actually, with the exception of the two major ones, Ethereum and Bitcoin, guys.
I'm ready to rock and roll, baby. Wow. Guys. I mean, Disney just, what's up, Crazy Stitch lady? Wow. All right. You know, it's kind of like, you know, when you got Mahomes throwing you the ball, it seems like a little bit of a cheat code here. So I don't know who's throwing me the ball. This is starting to go back up to the upside, man. And we're starting to really read some of these plays quite nicely, man. I mean, that Disney, we just reloaded that, and now it's 25 cents in the money. It's like there's some traders that, like we've had Apple today Huge trade. Alibaba's $1 in the money. Disney right there just reloaded a quarter. The only short that we officially took after the Apple short was Google, which is a monster. Palantir, I mean, let's just do this. It doesn't matter. And then we had some shorts here that worked and then didn't. So the only like this is what we're going to be red on, you know. And then Tesla as well. Like, I'm proud of all of these trades. I'll take reds on those all day, baby, if we can come over and do the kind of stuff that we're doing. Like, look what Disney just did. Like, on a reload right there, we're up immediately. Well, we'll just punch out a little bit there at 12s. But there it is. What else? That's the bottom. We had the bottom here, and now we have the bottom again, just playing off of day's low. So it's about having the right names on the radar. And right there, you know what's going on. What's up, Crazy Stitch Lady, and everybody else that's there in the chat. I just hope that real sees real. We've talked about real trading. And I mean, all of these trades have just been easy to follow. The only trade that I was really in and out of pretty quickly on was Rivian, but that was still a trade that took from 9:54 to 10:10. So that was still 15 minutes that you guys could have decided in yay or nay with this trade, and it was a really, really small hit. Everything else, man, we've been pumping the Palantir long from time. We only have 5% left. We talked about getting out of half of what we had there. So we have a small piece left. And then everything else has been pretty simple, man. The Alibaba, as it was written on the sticky note, the Apple short was early, man, and that was a pretty easy one there. Uber was written down as well. Wow, Uber, come on, dog. Look at Uber right now. I mean, this is what I mean. The only thing that I have to do is learn to hold a little bit longer and use more shares when it's written down on said note. What's up, A?
GE Healthcare, another one on the move today. Really strong volume throughout the day, up almost 11% after a really strong earnings beat across the board here. GEHC, guys.
Good.
That's right. Shout out to GE Healthcare. I'm a happy shareholder of that name. I'm not going to hate it at all. You'll see I'm out of C3AI. Plan is a plan, Stan, and VWAP is a thing. Higher lows all the way through. Higher low off of here, and then a higher low again bouncing off VWAP. We told you guys what the plan of action was. When Palantir got to the top, it was pretty simple. 21.85 was a 52-week high. Clearly, you could short Palantir. That was a bit of a freight train. I just felt there's no reason for C3AI not to pull back, and if it was a sympathy play, shorted it to the top, and then just got in, got out, Bob's your uncle as well. Meta, I ran to the can, and 453 happened. And the wick, it's true, this is real, like it did wick down to 53, and is now bounced. Look at the consolidation. Call it consolidation, accumulation. It doesn't really matter what you want to give it. I tried to grab 55s on the way back up. I want Meta long in here, and if it's not going to be down to 53, I'm moving it to 55. I don't need that bit anymore. Moving it into 455. See if we can grab that long. So the short for me remains, I'm still in Intel, but that C3A on any push up in Palantir. I got some more out of Intel on that higher low because it keeps challenging VWAP. I'll wait till it tests VWAP for any kind of a reload, and it's time to get the out on Alibaba. It's broken 77. If it gets through the pre-market high, it needs to challenge that 78. There was no dip buy into VWAP for me, so it didn't quite get to VWAP. Unfortunately, sometimes you get the fill you want. Catching that trend, it never gave me. I wanted it after it bounced VWAP once. I wanted it bouncing the second time. I wanted VWAP established. It didn't really do it the second time, so we're just going to hold on to what we got. Look for that 78 top. I will trail it on any fail break of those pre-market highs at 77.25. Make sure we lock in that dollar at that point. So let's be patient. If Palantir makes another run, I'll still go for C3AI on the short side. Oh, there is something else.
No, it's okay.
There's something else I want to get to. It was
going?
SoFi, because I know a lot of people were mentioning SoFi having a great day. I'll stop to fail on SoFi because that 750 thing happened again, where it bounced off 750. Yesterday, it was like kind of over-under and then went. Today, it dipped right into 750 and ran higher. But you can't chase the trade that's already happened. All you can do is move on to the next. I'm just going to point out this is 795 here, and then you got an $8 resistance level. At this time of day, I'd look for the scalp short, risk a couple of cents off that 805 if it gets up there, and then just look to play a small retracement. Maybe you get VWAP or something along those lines in SoFi.
So we'll just take 40 cents out on Disney again on the reload. And like I said, man, look, it's going to be what it is, man. Not every day everybody's going to be able to be green or red, or red, I guess. If you don't trade, you could be neither, I guess, or you could be flat. And yeah, it's just some days things work out, and recently it's just been one of those days. So, all right, yeah, what I am noticing right here as people are mentioning, yo, Palantir's back to VWAP. Yeah, yes, it is. All the way back there. Like I said, it's not doing anything other than a simple retracement, but it looks a little bit more dramatic because of where we've come from. Let's try to buy some 92s here then on this name. There it is, so we got that. And then we'll hold this against that break of VWAP. And if we break through VWAP, then we could be done. That's 75. So we'll wait for that. I mean, look, we've been, like I said, when you step up to the plate and they just all look like fastballs, then you should just keep swinging. So that's what we're doing right now today. Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to be Javier Baez.
And we are, needless to say, very much in the zone. So, all right, so 20.75, if it breaks it, we're gone. Palantir fading back out a little bit. Again, this is not the confidence that we had in this name earlier. So there is something called profit taking, and if that's what happens, that's what happens. So there it is. Okay, well, we just get a piece out at 89 there off that dip buy. We'll see if we can get it. And like I said, man, there come a couple fastballs right down the middle. So if we can hit it again, we'll do that. But right now, we're sitting in Palantir. We're long just at 85 right now. So let's wait. See if it gets back up to the upside. We just did take some out, but there it is, 91s. So here we go, man. Another trade right there. So yeah, all seems to be well over here, but Palantir, again, breaking through 75, and we're gone on that one. If you're long Palantir, I advise maybe a pushback through VWAP is generally not a healthy sign. So we'll wait, and that's going to be our out. And if we could take profit, we'll do that as well. So again, we'll put another 90 fill and see if we can get that. There it is. As we wait for, see, there's just so much liquidity, it's nuts here. And so far, a good little move upside for Palantir off that reload, but more to come, hopefully.
Yeah, Meta just came over under that 55 level. I'll show you, my chart didn't load properly, so I have to show you my black chart here. Did this little over under. Thought you might be headed to the 53 level again, so I jumped in and out. I might jump in again and give it a little bit more room because I think you're going to have to. But it's 53 that I really like, but I'll show you the execution. This is what I meant by some of the data going. I'm going to jump back in here, give it a few more shekels, give it 50 cents instead of like 20. But it's that 453 level that I think is the bigger one on Meta. It is trend to the downside, and I am looking for a reload. Before we go to Adara, I am looking for the reload here around VWAP on Intel. That's the short that we like off VWAP. But it is time for Sector Watch. Let's see what else is moving despite instead of just big tech and Palantir and all the good stuff. Adara.
A lot of really interesting stuff happening in the sectors today beyond the big tech and chip weakness. Let's talk about health technology. Really strong, led here by Eli Lilly after its earnings, though it has pulled back a little bit from those earlier gains. Consumer services a little bit more mixed here. Retail trade a bit more mixed, but certainly worth talking about energy minerals, a little mixed to positive here. Consumer durables, Tesla actually leading this group to the upside. We did have a downgrade from Daiwa, but we also did have some positive news with Choice Hotels choosing some Tesla wall connectors there. Transportation really strong. Couple names to note here. Uber on watch ahead of earnings tomorrow, and also UPS worth noting, getting an upgrade from UBS. So these two very strong as well. We also have process industries and health services on watch to the upside, guys.
Banger there on Palantir. It just went to $21. That's another 20 cents. It's like stacks on stacks on stacks on stacks right now. So we'll start stacking again on that one. And so now we're almost, honestly, man, we're almost out of it. Like, the best I thought we could get to is 20. I'm waiting for this now, 21.25. But if we break lower on this, then that's not fine. You know, we want, like I said, man, we are unable to get out of any of this during the show. I said that after the show I'd log in and see what kind of account size and what kind of damage we have on this name. So we will do that. But for right now, it's going. It's Palantir. It's been a good day for us.
For everyone, just to clarify there, because I know when we're saying that, it's our personal accounts. we can trade obviously in and out of anything we want here live on the show.
I have 40 fills on
But
Palantir.
but like when you're trading our personal accounts, we don't do it live while we're on the show. That's just it's just our decision. I don't think we've actually been told we shouldn't do it, but it's just what we decide to do.
It is a compliance issue.
You can have an order out in your personal account, but you should not be trading.
Cannot be actively trading.
Yeah, you can't be actively trading it. Like you can put, if I put a sell order on
Palantir.
Intel at X price limit in my personal account, if it happens to hit a day that I'm day trading it, so be it. But I'm not going to put that order in while we're live trading. I just said Intel because I'm in Intel, and I just happened to reload it just now. As you were saying that, Palantir dropping down.
Yep.
C3I is at VWAP. So my eyeballs are here. If Palantir makes a leg back into those 20s, I want to look for a VWAP fail on C3AI. It hasn't happened yet, but that is what I'm looking for next. You already know Alibaba is going. I have a trail on Alibaba now if it doesn't hold 77. And then the new position was Meta. I think the chart's a little bit better now. I have to stop now at 45. Sorry, 454.50. Gonna give it like just over 50 cents there. A little bit more reasonable off those holes. I like that 453, but you got to get there first. So new position is not a new one. It's just an old one. Back into the consolidation bottom on Intel. Tobes with Snapchat, they report. I
like some Snapchat.
I don't know, it's just kind of holding VWAP here. This isn't bad. It's stair step up off 17. I don't mind that. I kind of like this look actually on Snapchat. Room to the 18 level, which is a big break on the daily. This looks, hey, Toby, this looks good. Oh, sorry, Tobes. My bad. I don't know if it's actually Toby. Tobes, this looks pretty good off VWAP here, because look at the clear support at 17 even. You're getting VWAP at 10s. That's 10 cents worth of risk. It's got a decent short float. There's a lot to like here.
All right. All right, so we will conclude our Palantir trade with a bang. We were able to get out for profit, obviously on the upside, and then it broke down and we lost our 6 cents on a 75 break. So, to get these out, you could see these outs. We talked about them. Our best out was 96s or 98s as it went looks like 95 actually, or 96. Well, we can zoom in and find out exactly if you want. But there's the pullback. Yeah, so here these all are. Look at these 90, what is that, Phil? 95, 90s, whatever. But anyways, there's the break, and there's the break below VWAP, and there's the 74, it's 670 fill. So we actually get 70s on that break. So not a great fill, costing us a little bit on that break. All right, and just ho-hum, like we just been talking about, so Intel's been one of my favorite stocks and one of the more profitable names that I've traded in the last 2 months. But Disney, as of late, man, oh man, Disney ripping up the board rate here today. Today's been a fantastic day, man. Today will be a trophy day. There's one guy ahead of us. He's behind, and shout out to him again, man. There's lots of good traders on our floor. They're all starting to develop, and I'm really proud of the job that Brankles and Wayne are doing here on the floor. So congratulations, guys. Yeah, man. That's just absolutely great. So let's see if that can, well, hopefully it will continue. Why not? Back up to the upside for the office as blue skies ahead. Disney, 70 cents now in the money, still going. Alibaba. Wow, both Neil and I still have it, had this name, man. Great name, $1.40 now in the money on this. It just continues to go, man. It's not unfortunate, it's just we had written down here Alibaba 75. I only noticed it because Neil was like, oh, it's at 76. And I was like, oh, I got to get over there. So we don't have a max position on that, which kind of sucks. So, but anyways, there goes Alibaba. Max position or not, man, it's $1.40 in the money right there. Some people's max positions are other people's keystroke errors. So you have to be very, very careful with what you're doing exactly, right? And so that's the one thing that Neil and I will always talk about. Do your risk to reward. Like if I like 75 there, I know Neil was hitting this long well before me, but that's going to be a tough spot to like max out on. But at the same time, now that I look at this...
Well, the difference is I was stopping out at the local bottom.
That's what I was just going to say there. Like, now that I look at this, could have had probably a better decision. Well, I didn't have a decision to make because it just ripped. This was never against me. But, yeah, against 80 cents there, yeah, Neil's probably right. Like, even if you take 1,000 shares here, your risk is 25 cents. That's $2.50, right? So now you're in the money. Well, anyways... On this example, it works.
It's one of those, so I'll just give you my thought process on Alibaba was simply any support, any resistance that turned into support. So once it got underneath 76, like you had this top here at 75.60, you have all these little tops from 75 to 75.60. Like first, like just looking for bounces there. It made a bottom and then I got in. Like this is the low at 75.71 or something like that. You got to zoom in to really see it. Then it put in this lower high, like bought that dip into that low. So let the stock make the bottom. Why try to make the bottom if you can just start buying when other people start buying? I think that's easier to do. But my stop would have been right at that low. I have a trail on it now. If it holds the pre-market high, great. If it doesn't hold the pre-market high, then I'm out of it. And then Meta. Let's go to Meta. I want to apologize in advance for this chart because this chart's not really loading for me on Meta. It is what it is.
Is that the daily?
No, it's my 3-minute chart. So I'm just going to show you my black chart. So Meta started holding that 455 level. So I scalped some inside of the range, 55 to 56. Now I'm looking for the push somewhere in the 58 to 60 range. I just think if it gets up in there, look for the retracement. This market is still a little bit sick. Meta is weaker than the overall market, down 0.7 into 0.3, but bouncing with everything else. Is META. I haven't gone back into C3AI, but the eyeballs are on Palantir. My plan of action would have been if Palantir continued to flush, look for C3AI breaking under VWAP, and then make another sympathy play. I like the sympathy play as opposed to trying to stand in front of the moving freight train. That said, if you actually shorted the 52-week high, you did better off on a percentage basis. But then to me, like you were just hoping that level held. I saw the level hold and then shorted this sort of relatively easily with a 10-cent risk on that name. We haven't really talked about Tesla too much. EV names are going to be the bane today because the read wasn't there. I tried the breakout at 85. It didn't work. The second time it went through was actually pretty decent if you took it, and it's right back underneath that 185 level on Tesla. So VWAP seems like the play for Tesla right now. But in terms of significant price levels, they're all well under here or $5 higher when it comes to Tesla. So you got to be a little bit patient. VWAP, I think you can work with. It's already 10 to 11.
I know, it's...
Which reminds me, hey man, if you're enjoying the Palantir show, which it has been today, let's be real about it, you got to do one thing for us, and that is...
Like, subscribe, and share it, the show that takes you into the heart of the
Where
market.
is that other one, by the way? You know, like...
I hit the button available to me.
Like are we
I can't
not...
hit a button that's not there.
Is there another one being worked on, Fabian? No. I just don't know if it's. Oh no, I don't think it should be high. No, it should be low on the list.
It's not that high in the
Do not, hey Fabian, remove it from the list. Is my question. I just want to know if it was ready yet. That's all. If it's not, remove immediately. Okay, how about this, Sharif? Put Sharif on the screen. I have talked to this guy. Oh, he doesn't have his mic though. Okay, he's gonna get his mic up. All right, let's go to Adara. Then we'll back with some beer discussion.
After 2 days of significant upside, seeing a little bit of downside of the USD, definitely not enough to take out those gains that we made the last 2 days, though. We don't have any huge economic data down the pipeline for today, but we do have 4 Fed speakers. We first have Mester, Kashkari, and Collins. They're all going to be coming 12, 1, and 2 respectively. Then later today around 7 p.m. we're going to be getting Fed's Harker as well. So let's keep an eye on that way. Also worth noting, yesterday there was an essay published by Fed Kashkari, basically echoing the stance that Powell was saying on 60 Minutes on Sunday, basically the idea that the monetary policy is still not as tight as it could be, and they're working on tightening the policy before any potential cuts may happen. So this has been a bit of a damper for people who were assuming that these rate hikes were going to come closer to March. So just something worth noting here as well with regards to the USD, guys.
Yeah, that is a bit of a damper there for sure, as we did talk a little bit about that yesterday with Fed Chair Powell. All right, so I don't know why people in the chat are like, yeah, Sean, go full pimp on the guy. What? I don't even know what that means. No, I just want to talk to Sharif because I actually wanted to say that.
As if you don't know what the, come on, Sean, don't act like you don't.
I mean, well, I'm not
You know
trying
damn well what that means.
I'm not trying to go. I was going to say, you see how it's kind of like.
You know what that means.
Yeah, what do you call that? The shadow?
Yeah, the 5 o'clock.
I like that. I feel
5
like,
o'clock shadow.
I feel like we're close there, my guy. I think I got a little more grays in there than you, but I like that look. What do you think about that, Sharif? Keeping it like this?
I don't mind this, Sean. It's just this is not by design. This is by laziness right here.
Okay.
That's the thing, right? But I like it better on you than I like it on me.
Oh, well, thank you.
That's like
Thank
a
you.
month for me. These guys like it's laziness. If I stop shaving for a month, I might get that. You got a beard, bro.
Thing is that I did have a sponsorship with Gillette. So I need to.
The
you know,
best
can't-
a man
I need
can
to
get.
do that. It is the best a man could get. Get Gillette. All right, get this guy off the screen. He's got, in 8 minutes, he's back, and then you can see the handsome Sharif with Adara as well. I mean, you can't say handsome, stunning Adara. I don't know, what do you say about female? Handsome, I think you can call, no, handsome is a male term, isn't it?
Smart, talented.
Smart, talented. Yeah, but I was trying to think, yeah, obviously. I mean,
So
you can't host on this show unless you're me and not.
There was a
smart or
question.
talented.
Oh, get out.
You know what I'm saying?
Nonsense. There was someone in the chat was like, "Oh man, Adara." The other day was like, "Adara has great puns," and I got a DM from a viewer telling me how well Adara's been doing. So that was very sweet. But she's a writer. She's like, that's why she has like those puns in her head, because she actually like reads a lot and writes. So there definitely is some talent that's a little bit undercover, because obviously with a ton of the watch list, like we're here live, like nothing is scripted. We're not writing our lines, as you guys can obviously tell.
What? No, I'm writing them. Let me see.
Oh, I mean, the
I
script.
have another joke, but
The script does say what's going to happen to SMCI on Nvidia.
Yeah, this is like the
earnings.
end.
I don't know if you saw that, but I was looking ahead at our script, and SMCI, watch out. New position for me is Snapchat, pull back into VWAP. That's it. I dip bought it here. If it breaks the local bottom, that's like 1697 or 98. So if it breaks that, I'm out of it. Looking for some continuation. They don't report till, let me just say, after the bell. I should have double checked this, which I did not. So Snapchat, yeah, it is after the bell. So after the bell tonight, you'll get them on the market recap show, because I would presume they will be in the first half an hour after 4 o'clock.
Yeah, man. Those of you that are like, what, Gillette? Yeah, it's on my, go find it over on the Instagram, the gram, and you'll be able to see that. I went to the Raptors home opener. They sent me a bunch of stuff. I'm on Team Styled. So there's 2 teams. There's Team Styled and Team Smooth. I should go look this up to make sure that is right. And I'm with IFW, Gary Trent is supposed to be my guy, and the Team Smooth is Grady Dick. So I am on Team
That's
Gary
why you were
Trent. I'd like to
trash-talking
sign.
Grady Dick the other day.
No, I just think Grady Dick has been a disaster. Although yesterday he got 22 points.
Season high. He's
Yeah,
been playing well.
congratulations. The Raptors got blown out by 40, and the guy steps on the court and drops 22. So, yeah, no, that's good. Look, I think Grady Dick could work out. I'm just saying he's been a disaster at picks 7 or 8.
I don't think he's a disaster.
Well, I'm just talking about people that are much smarter than me calling him that. But yeah, to each their own. Anyways, I hope for the best for the Raptors. But if we continue to lose, that's ideal, because we do not have our own first-round pick unless we finish in the bottom 6.
And that's what you want. You don't want the other team to get a great pick.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. So if we get pick 7, it goes to the Spurs for, once again, shout out to Messiah Jury for a great trade. Jakob Poeltl for a first-round pick last year, and letting Fred VanVleet go. So go. So that was an absolute disaster. Probably would have cost him his job, but he brought a ring here, so he'll hold off on that one. And then he ships Pascal Siakam away for a couple of bucket of balls and maybe a rim. So we'll see how that all works out. But go Raptors for now. Go Disney. Go Alibaba. And then did we get stopped out of something since we were gone? No. It was just Uber, where I am like Uber in love with right now, because that just keeps on going to the upside. We nailed the bottom. We did not reload, and we're out of it. But glad that it's going this way. Here we go, man. Yeah, I don't think it's a great. I was actually talking with a guy in the back there. It's not supposed to be the greatest NBA draft class. So, you know,
it's not a great one. This year.
You never know.
There's some decent players. Kansas just got upset last night, which is
Grady Dick.
I'm not feeling
Kansas.
I'm not feeling them in the NCAA tournament after what Kansas State did to them. Alibaba just won up. We got 3 minutes. We got 3 minutes to go here. So Alibaba, it's really starting to level off. And I've just, like I mentioned that I had a trailing stop. I didn't actually tell you guys exactly where it is. There's your pre-market high. There's your consolidation. I'm out if it breaks this consolidation down, just a couple of cents underneath it. The new position, as mentioned, was Snapchat. And we talk about this, and we say this all the time, what the value of this community is. They report after market tonight. Mm-hmm. We talked about Spotify, which already reported. Let's go to 21s here. But we talked about them in passing, but look at it trend up. Breaks higher, look at the defined bottom at 17, then look at that higher low, defined low, dips into the same price. Like, just, I like that stair-step pattern to the upside, but I wouldn't have noticed it if it wasn't for you guys mentioning this one in the chat. So shout out to you. Tesla, buy. I keep hearing Sharif say Tesla, and then I'm assuming that's Sharif hitting the banks. 2.2%.
Wow, okay.
Tesla finding a bit of a bottom. See, stink bids work every now and then. Maybe we aren't getting to the bottom of this channel, which it's been in the last half year. Maybe it's not happening. Maybe they're starting to buy today. But it's already done this once, and then it rejected 195. So watch out for that. We'll see whether it's out of the penalty box just yet. Meta's still working to the upside. Snapchat we just have, and then Intel. That's kind of the short that we've been going at these bottoms, because the market is essentially channeling the lows. So I think you want to have something in the pocket short when the market's actually weak today. I know it doesn't feel like it because there's individual names going higher, but the market is red and has been relatively weak, and that's because of things going on in the big cap tech.
All right, guys. Yeah, thanks for watching. I mean, it's been another banger, and I hope you guys have appreciated that and you know, just enjoyed the show, right? Some sports talk, some fun stuff today, some investment talk, some great trades, and just hopefully you're enjoying what we're providing. And you can hit the like, hit the subscribe, and do all of that, because Neil and I are back at 2 o'clock, and we do have an education show coming on right after this. So if you're like wondering about all this gibberish that we're just throwing around here like it's second nature, well, you know, you're going to go get some more education very, very soon in a matter of a couple minutes with Adair and Sharif. So, all right. The one short that we gave up on that we probably shouldn't have, we talked about Apple here in and around 188.20. I feel like that could be a trade that we'll probably put on here, you know, while the afternoon is continued. We are working on a second stream. I mean, hopefully that comes up very, very soon, and then you'll be able to see some more important data about what Neil and I are doing throughout the afternoons, and you can be watching that screen all day. So it'll show our positions and everything like that. So we'll hop in the midday, maybe not. We'll hop into the chat and tell Sharif and all that about some of the plays that we have, especially if they're newer plays. So yeah, I do want to get long on Tesla at some point. There's VWAP down there at 183. We've talked about 182 being so strong for a very long time. So I could see it holding 182. So maybe a dip back down into that level. But yeah, thank you so much, JF Trader. If you thought this was a good show, we have a lot of content, man. I stay back every night for the recap show. So make sure you do that, where we'll talk all about the earnings. And then of course we have the podcast, and it just doesn't stop around here. So, all right. Thank you so much for watching again today.
Yeah, absolutely. It is 11 o'clock, as Sean mentioned. We're back at 2. We got Frank. Well, we have Frank every Tuesday. We'll have Frank this afternoon. Maybe he pumps the markets. I feel like the market's need it right now.
Nice.
But do not wait for that. We're going how to trade. I'll be on. We'll still have the real deal. I got a lesson for you guys at noon or in and around noon, just whenever these guys are ready. But let's get to Sharif. Let's get to Adara. Rock that beard, Sharif.
Rock it.
Well, what is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as the Midday Show. That right there is your girl Adara. I am Sharif, and as per usual, we're going to wait for everyone to migrate